I have an immortal dwelling within me. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction. So don't try any techniques you hear here in real life, your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 26, The Spirit Fields Are Barren. Take it. Mei Ziyu grabbed Lin Yi's hand and forcefully stuffed 2 mid-grade spirit stones into his grasp. Aunt Mei, I really can't accept this. Lin Yi grabbed Mei Ziyu's slender hand and returned the 2 mid-grade spirit stones. The two of them wrestled and pulled at each other, their faces flushed, like a fierce and unusual struggle. In the end, Mei Ziyu couldn't resist Lin Yi and gave in. How about this? Aren't you going to do some planting work? My family has 5 acres of spirit fields. You can go and do the planting work for me, and these 200 low-grade spirit stones will be my advance payment for your work. Is this alright? Mei Ziyu pressed down on Lin Yi's hand, her breath slightly out of her mouth. Lin Yi, a hot-blooded young man, didn't know his own strength and grabbed her delicate white hands, leaving several red marks accompanied by a slight pain. That's fine, Lin Yi pondered for a moment, then smiled and agreed. Working as a planting helper to earn money was a very good way to make money. Aunt Mei, my current cultivation level is at the 5th level of the spirit gathering realm, and my rain drifting technique is at the true truth realm. Becoming a rain casting master shouldn't be a problem. From now on, the rain casting work on your 5 acres of spirit fields will be entirely in my hands. I guarantee it will increase your spirit fields yield by more than 20%. As for the payment, you can decide what to give, Lin Yi said with a broad smile. Hearing this, Mei Ziyu looked at Lin Yi, her eyebrows raised in surprise. Your rain dance technique has reached the true essence realm? Mei Ziyu asked in astonishment. I have a pretty good talent in magic. I used to rent spirit fields and devoted my time and energy to cultivating these planting techniques. I had already cultivated the rain dance technique to the peak of the proficiency realm. Recently, in addition to my cultivation, I have also been practicing magic from time to time. This morning, my cultivation level advanced to the 5th level of the spirit gathering realm. My spiritual sense and spiritual power have both greatly improved. The rain dance technique also benefited from this and advanced to the true essence realm. Lin Yi smiled slightly. He actually reached the true essence realm of the rainfall technique in the immortal abode space, taking advantage of the doubled time. But this couldn't be explained. He could only pretend to be a magical genius. Of course, with his magical talent, if he had focused solely on studying the rainfall technique, he could have also reached the true essence realm. Before, he rented spiritual fields and had to learn all sorts of planting techniques. A total of about 10. His energy was scattered, which is why he didn't excel in any particular technique. Saying this wasn't too much of an exaggeration. Most importantly, with the immortal abode space, he could also enter the immortal abode space to cultivate other techniques in the future, taking advantage of the 7-fold time acceleration to quickly improve his magical realm. In other people's eyes, his status as a magical genius will remain intact and won't crumble. I never expected you to be a magical genius. That's great. With your 5th level spirit gathering realm cultivation and this true truth realm rain technique, you're more than capable of becoming an excellent rain casting master. With this skill, you'll never starve. Mei Ziyu exclaimed with delight. She had actually come for another purpose. However, she was still hesitant and considering it. After all, Lin Yi had been burdened by a strange and weak illness. If she really did that, it might not have been a wise decision for her or for her beloved daughter, Mo Xiaodang. But now, everything was different. Lin Yi's weakness and strange illness had completely disappeared. His body was strong and robust, with abundant yang energy, so there was definitely no problem with his sexual function. Furthermore, Lin Yi was also a genius in magic, having cultivated the rainfall technique to the true essence realm. In the small town, Lin Yi was probably the only young person who could cultivate the rainfall technique to that level. As for his spiritual root talent, Lin Yi possessed all 5 elements, all of them top grade. All her previous worries had vanished. At this moment, in her eyes, Lin Yi was a rough gem. Given time, he would surely shine with his own brilliant light. Before someone else snatched him away, if not now, when? Aunt May, don't worry, Lin Yi said confidently, my rain casting skills are top-notch. I definitely won't starve, and I'll only get better. He told Mei Ziyu all this not to show off, but because Mei Ziyu thought he was destitute and about to die. She kindly came to visit him and even gave him 200 low-grade spirit stones. He valued this kindness and warmth, which is why he told Mei Ziyu so much. Of course, the income from his immortal abode was of dubious origin. To launder this ill-gotten wealth, he also had to spread this crucial information about himself. He just told Mei Ziyu first. Lin Yi, to be honest, I have another plan I wanted to discuss with you this time. Mei Ziyu looked directly at Lin Yi, her eyes full of tenderness, and spoke softly. What plan, Aunt May? Please tell me, Lin Yi said generously. As you know, my husband died young, and my sister Mo Xiaodang and I have always relied on each other. When it comes to farming, we can't compete with others. Planting is very strenuous. I run a tailor shop, making clothes to supplement our income and support my family. The time I have to tend to the spirit fields is even less. Of my 5 mu of spirit fields, 2 are mid-grade first-rank spirit fields, and 3 are low-grade first-rank spirit fields. Due to neglect, the yield is very low. It's a complete waste. Mei Ziyu spoke softly, recounting her story. Without people cultivating the land, the spirit fields are almost abandoned. A hint of resentment appeared on Mei Ziyu's face. Hearing this, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile. I understand, Aunt May. Do you want me to help you plant and manage these 5 acres of spirit fields? Lin Yi asked with a smile. He cultivated all 5 elements and was proficient in more than 10 kinds of planting techniques, with his rainfall technique reaching the true essence realm. In planting, he was better than most spirit plant growers. Mei Ziyu knew his abilities in this area, so it was quite normal for her to ask for his help. Mei Ziyu was Uncle Fu's distant niece, so they were related. In addition, upon hearing that he was down on his luck, Mei Ziyu rushed to see him and gave him 200 low-grade spirit stones, which also showed her kindness. He was happy to help with this. Aunt May, if you don't have time to cultivate the spirit fields, why don't you just hand over these 5 acres to me to cultivate? I guarantee your spirit field yield will be more than 30% higher than before. Your spirit field yield is already very low. I might even double it for you. Then, I'll take 10% of the yield. Is that alright? Lin Yi said with a smile. Helping is helping, but he still had to take his share of the profits. It's just that with this friendship, he would take less. 10% of the yield is indeed not much. If it were someone else, he would take at least 20%. You misunderstood. I didn't ask you to cultivate the spirit fields for me. Mei Ziyu looked at Lin Yi, waving her hands repeatedly, and scolded him. This guy, before she could even finish speaking, rambled on and on. Young people, so impatient. A misunderstanding, Aunt May. What do you mean? Lin Yi asked in surprise. He really couldn't think of any other use Mei Ziyu might have for him besides helping her cultivate the spirit fields. Chapter 27, Becoming a Son-in-Law. Lin Yi, do you want a wife? Mei Ziyu looked at Lin Yi and asked with a smile. Hearing this, Lin Yi blushed. Aunt May, I'm still a few months shy of turning 16. It's too early to talk about this now. I haven't thought about it either. Lin Yi waved his hands repeatedly, his face flushed. Right now, he was focused on breaking through to the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm and joining the Misty Sect. At your age, getting married and having children is indeed a bit early, but this age is the perfect time to get engaged. If you don't settle down now, when you want to marry later, all the girls will be engaged, and you won't have a chance. You have to act early in this matter. Mei Ziyu smiled and coaxed him gently. Aunt May, you're right, but where am I supposed to get engaged? Who am I supposed to get engaged to? Lin Yi quickly waved his hands. In the eyes of outsiders, he was already struggling to make ends meet. What girl could possibly be engaged to him? I have one ready-made. What do you think of Xiao Tang? Mei Ziyu asked with a smile. Xiao Tang. Lin Yi was stunned. Then, he shook his head repeatedly. Xiao Tang is a year younger than me. She's only 14, and she's already engaged. Lin Yi's face was full of surprise. You said it yourself. He's only a year younger than you. You're the same age. Perfect match. Besides, this is just an engagement, not a marriage proposal. You can get married in a few years, when you're around 20, Mei Ziyu said with a smile. She was growing more and more fond of Lin Yi. No, Aunt May, this is too sudden. Let me calm down. Lin Yi shook his head, trying to compose himself. This was completely different from what he had imagined. Mei Ziyu had just told him that she and her daughter depended on each other, running a tailor shop to make clothes for a living, and had no time to tend to the spirit field, which was almost overgrown. He had thought Mei Ziyu wanted his help to manage the spirit field. He never expected it to be an engagement. Aunt Mei, is this a spur-of-the-moment decision, or did you plan this before coming? Lin Yi looked at Mei Ziyu and couldn't help but ask. I discussed it with Xiaodan before I came, and she agreed. If you don't believe me, you can come back with me later and ask Xiaodan if it's true, Mei Ziyu said earnestly. She had indeed planned to do this before coming. However, Lin Yi had been burdened by a strange, weak illness, and she was still somewhat worried about it. She came this time to find out how serious Lin Yi's strange, weak illness was, how much it affected him, especially whether he still possessed his sexual abilities. When the results came, they found that Lin Yi's weak and strange illness had been cured, and his body had become strong and robust, appearing to have abundant yang energy. There was absolutely no need to worry about his daughter's future happiness. Since there was no longer this concern, she would definitely do her best to make things happen as planned. Since Aunt Mei says so, I definitely believe her, Lin Yi nodded vigorously. Mei Ziyu's expression didn't seem like she was lying. Now, thinking back, her words and actions just now were indeed aimed at this purpose. However, he couldn't understand why she wanted to find him. Aunt Mei, you know I'm burdened by this strange, frail illness. I can't even rent a spirit field anymore, and making a living is a problem. Under these circumstances, why do you still have the idea of arranging an engagement between Xiaotang and me? Aren't all the others better off than me? Lin Yi couldn't help but ask. You don't have a spirit field, but we do. I did have concerns about your frail illness. I originally came here to ask you in detail how serious it was, but who knew you'd recovered and there's no need to worry about it anymore. In that case, you're practically the best candidate to be engaged to Xiaotang, Mei Ziyu said with a beaming smile. The best candidate? Lin Yi looked puzzled. To be honest, recently many people have come to propose marriage to Xiaotang, but I don't like any of those young men, and neither does Xiaotang. They're either good-for-nothings, lazy, arrogant, lacking both character and ability. Besides, their parents are all alive. If Xiaodan marries them, I'll be all alone. Xiaodan can't bear that, and I can't bear to marry her off, so we've discussed it and are planning to find a son-in-law to live with us. Mei Ziyu looked at Lin Yi, speaking earnestly and sincerely. Lin Yi listened quietly, nodding slightly. The problems Mei Ziyu mentioned were indeed real. Since we're looking for a son-in-law to live with us, most young men with parents won't agree. Our family is quite ordinary. If we're looking for a son-in-law, we can only find someone who's orphaned and poor. Otherwise, they won't even look at us. Think about it, orphaned and poor, but we want someone with good character and ability. That leaves very few options. After thinking it over, you're the most suitable. Besides, you were raised by Uncle Fu, so you're related to us. Xiaotang and I have met you before, and we've heard that you make a living by renting land and that you're a very good farmer, so Xiaotang and I discussed it, and I shamelessly came over. Mei Ziyu spoke logically and earnestly. I didn't expect I'd be such a hot commodity. Lin Yi couldn't help but laugh. Based on what Mei Ziyu said, he was indeed the best candidate in this forgotten immortal town. Especially now, he was no longer burdened by his weak and strange illness, and his rain-drifting technique had even advanced to the true truth realm. His future was bright, and his peers couldn't compare to him at all. Lin Yi, I'm optimistic about your future rise. You probably know yourself that you will definitely soar to great heights. If you despise us, mother and daughter, and are unwilling to become a son-in-law, we won't blame you. Mei Ziyu looked at Lin Yi, using a strategy of retreat to advance. Aunt Mei, what are you saying? I only have 5 low-grade spirit stones on hand right now, and I'm almost starving. If you hadn't given me these 200 low-grade spirit stones, I'd probably be starving to death. Even if you look down on me, it's you who look down on me. Lin Yi quickly waved his hand and said humbly. You mean, you agree? Mei Ziyu asked with a face full of joy. Aunt Mei, let me be honest with you. If I were to marry in the future, I would still want to find a girl I love. Xiaotang and I only met once 3 years ago. We haven't been through anything together, and we don't know each other well. If we get engaged now, it would be too hasty. What if Xiaotang regrets it after the engagement, or I regret it? It wouldn't look good for either of us. We still have this family relationship, so we can help each other when things happen. But if we break off the engagement, we'll have a falling out and never see each other again. Getting engaged now, I don't think it's appropriate. Lin Yi looked at Mei Ziyu, his face full of seriousness. He knew very well that he would achieve great things in the future. So why not find someone he loved? I completely agree with what you've said. How about this? You and Xiaodang spend more time together in the coming days to cultivate your relationship and see if you get along well. If you get along well and like each other, then you can get engaged. Is that alright? Mei Ziyu asked with a bright smile. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28, Mo Xiaodang. Lin Yi looked at Mei Ziyu, whose gaze was tender and expectant, and found it difficult to speak. He actually wanted to refuse, but the words wouldn't come out. He remained unmoved by anyone who tried to bully or intimidate him, no matter how much they mocked or belittled him. He was afraid of Mei Ziyu's warm tenderness. Apart from Uncle Fu, no one had ever been so kind to him. Such warmth was incredibly precious to him. His heart melted at this warmth, becoming soft and unable to harden. Aunt Mei, I'll listen to you. I'll try getting to know Xiaotang first. Lin Yi couldn't bear to refuse directly, offering a way out. He planned to spend some time with Xiaotang to give Mei Ziyu an explanation. He planned to deliberately expose a few flaws to make Xiaotang dislike him, thus ruining the marriage. With your words, I'm relieved. Tomorrow morning, I'll have Xiaotang come find you and take you to the spirit field to perform rainmaking. I'll also ask other spirit plant growers if their spirit fields need rainmaking masters. I'll help you contact some rainmaking jobs. Mei Ziyu smiled warmly, her gentle charm captivating. Each time, she took a small step forward, leading Lin Yi along. Lin Yi couldn't find any reason to refuse. Alright, I'll go rain on your family's spiritual field tomorrow. As for the rainmaking work, Aunt Mei, don't worry too much about it, just ask casually. I feel really bad for always making you worry. Lin Yi waved his hand with a smile. He had no intention of marrying Mo Xiaodang. Agreeing to try dating Mo Xiaodang was only to give Mei Ziyu face. He had a crimson jade pendant and a celestial mansion space within him. This secret was too important to tell anyone. Especially now, his strength was still very weak. People's hearts are unfathomable, and he couldn't trust anyone. Once this secret was leaked, he would be doomed. Under these circumstances, he naturally didn't want anyone to get too close. If he really got engaged to Mo Xiaodang, and the two of them were often together, some of his secrets would undoubtedly be known to Mo Xiaodang. Mo Xiaodang now knows his secret of possessing a celestial abode, and the consequences are unpredictable. To be on the safe side, he cannot get engaged or married to anyone until he has sufficient strength and can protect himself. That would be gambling with his life. He can't afford to gamble. Since he has this plan in mind, he naturally doesn't want to owe Mei Ziyu too many favors. The more he owes her, the more uneasy he feels. Debts of gratitude are the hardest to repay. Don't be so polite with me. After all, I run a tailor shop and know quite a few people. Asking around for you casually is much more effective than you running around trying to find out. Mei Ziyu smiled charmingly. Then I'll have to trouble Aunt Mei. Lin Yi could only smile and bow. It's getting late, I'll head back now. I'll have Xiaotang come find you first thing tomorrow morning, Mei Ziyu said, taking light steps before turning and leaving. Aunt Mei, take care. Lin Yi waved goodbye. Only after Mei Ziyu's figure disappeared into the misty alley did Lin Yi finally breathe a sigh of relief. Just now, he hadn't dared to invite Aunt Mei into his courtyard for a short while, because A-Qing was in the courtyard. Now, even a calf would cost several thousand low-grade spirit stones to buy a spirit ox. He couldn't explain this. His meditation room was equipped with a third-grade spirit gathering array, and even a second-hand one would cost 6,000 low-grade spirit stones. He couldn't explain that either. He shouldn't have that much money now. I need to find a few ways to make money quickly and get a sum of money. At the very least, I need to conceal this grade 3 spirit gathering array. Lin Yi made a decisive decision. He kept the grade 3 5 elements heart sutra in the thatched hut of his immortal abode, where no one would know. The grade 3 spirit gathering array, however, was in the meditation room. Anyone entering his courtyard would discover it. These past few days, I haven't been able to improve my cultivation level. Lin Yi shook his head helplessly. He needed to use his true identity to earn a large sum of money so he could openly tell others that he had purchased the Grade 3 Spirit Gathering Array and the Grade 3 5 Elements Heart Sutra before he could unleash his cultivation power and attempt to break through to the 7th level of the Spirit Gathering realm. Relying solely on rainmaking won't earn enough money, Lin Yi said earnestly. I'll also cultivate other planting techniques to the level of mastery, even the true essence level. That way, I can handle various spiritual field tasks, and there will be more ways to earn money. The gate creaked open, and Lin Yi entered the courtyard. Moo, A-Qing wagged its tail happily when it saw Lin Yi. A-Qing, you did a great job. There were people outside, but you didn't make a sound. Lin Yi walked over, patted A-Qing, and said with a smile. A-Qing was quite intelligent and hadn't caused him any trouble. However, just to be on the safe side, I'll keep you in my immortal abode for the next few days. Once I've made some money, I'll tell everyone I bought a little green ox, then you can come out with me openly. Lin Yi greeted A-Qing. Then, with a thought, he put A-Qing into his immortal abode. Others keep their mistresses hidden away, afraid others will find out. He was hiding his ox in a golden cage. A-Qing, actually, you're quite comfortable in the immortal abode. Lin Yi's primordial spirit entered the immortal abode, smiling as he comforted A-Qing. In the 2 acres of spirit fields within the immortal abode, lush and green dew fruits grew. Moo, A-Qing looked at Lin Yi, shaking its head repeatedly. It seemed unwilling. Outside, it could easily see Lin Yi, it could see him almost every day. Inside the immortal abode, these jade dew fruits only bring rain once every 10 days. It would take about 10 days for it to see Lin Yi again. Just thinking about it was heartbreaking. I'll try my best to stay with you. Once I'm sure no one comes looking for me at night, I can release you. Lin Yi patted A-Qing, comforting her with a smile. Moo, A-Qing's face brightened with joy. Oh, right, there's one more thing I forgot to verify. These 2 acres of spirit fields in the immortal abode are now full of jade dew fruits, and now that you've entered, isn't this exceeding the immortal abode's capacity? Will I become weak again? Lin Yi looked at A-Qing, suddenly realizing. For so many years, he had been weak, and the culprit was A-Qing. Now that A-Qing is placed in the immortal abode space, will he still be weak? Immediately, Lin Yi activated his divine sense to examine the crimson jade pendant. After a moment, he felt relieved. The crimson jade pendant no longer absorbed his vital energy. Spiritual power, or divine sense. My cultivation realm has advanced to the 5th level of the spirit gathering realm, and the immortal abode space has also continuously improved. Now, the spiritual energy in the immortal abode space has become more abundant. The grade of the spirit fields has been promoted to a mid-grade first-class spirit field, and the number of spirit fields has also increased to 2 mu. The carrying capacity of the immortal abode space has also increased. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile broadly. Doesn't this mean that besides planting these 2 mu of jade dew fruit, he can also raise spirit beasts like this? Spirit beasts? This undoubtedly opens up another way to make money. Of course. This way of making money, however ill-gotten, is still shady and cannot be brought to light. He still needs to use his true identity to earn money openly and honestly, and launder this ill-gotten money. Practice the golden needle technique, Lin Yi decisively decided. This golden needle technique is an offensive technique that can release many strands of spiritual energy condensed into tiny golden needles. These needles can be soft or hard, and can penetrate spiritual herbs to kill the pests hidden inside. They can also be used to attack in combat, and their destructive power is quite good. Immediately, Lin Yi, in his immortal abode space, took advantage of the 7-fold time acceleration to comprehend the golden needle technique. After his divine consciousness became exhausted, he left the immortal abode space and cultivated to recover in the quiet room. Once recovered, he re-entered the immortal abode space to continue studying the golden needle technique. With a foundation of having previously mastered the rain drifting technique and soil turning technique to the true essence level, his cultivation of these first-grade planting techniques was now twice as effective, and he easily grasped their mysteries. The night passed quickly. At dawn, Lin Yi successfully cultivated the golden needle technique from the proficient level to the master level. Knock. Knock. Just as Lin Yi got up and stepped out of the quiet room, a knock came from outside the courtyard gate. Who is it? Lin Yi quickly closed the door to the quiet room, fearing that the secret of the 3rd-grade spirit gathering array would be discovered. Then, he quickly walked to the back of the courtyard gate and opened it a crack. Standing outside was a girl who looked about 14 or 15 years old. wearing a green dress. This girl had clear, watery eyes, a graceful figure, and was incredibly beautiful. She was clearly a future beauty. Between her brows, one could see a resemblance to Mei Ziyu. Brother Lin Yi, I'm Xiao Tang. Outside the gate, Mo Xiaodan called out crisply, her voice as melodious as a copper bell. Xiao Tang. Lin Yi opened the courtyard gate, stepped out, and then closed it again. Looking at this extremely beautiful girl before him, he was momentarily moved. Could this be love at first sight? Chapter 29, Nourishing the Spiritual Fields. Brother Lin Yi, let's go rain on the spirit fields, and we can chat about our engagement while we're at it. Mo Xiaodang smiled and offered. Her face looked youthful and innocent, but her speech was mature and sophisticated, lacking the affected shyness of other young girls. Okay, Lin Yi nodded with a smile. Immediately, he locked the courtyard gate and headed to the spirit fields outside the town with Mo Xiaodang. In the long, misty alley, the two walked side by side, very close. Brother Lin Yi, what are your plans for the future? Mo Xiaodang turned to look at Lin Yi and asked earnestly. I'm preparing to join the Misty Sect, Lin Yi replied decisively. I heard from my mother that you possess all 5 elemental roots, all of them top grade, demonstrating exceptional talent. Your rainfall technique has even reached the true essence realm, making your magical talent top tier. Unfortunately, your background is poor, and you lack good cultivation conditions. Your cultivation level is currently only at the 5th level of the spirit gathering realm. There are only 60-odd days until the Misty Sect's assessment. In such a short time, you're still 2 minor realms short. With your current cultivation conditions and speed, I'm afraid it will be very difficult. Right, Mo Xiaodang asked calmly, her mind clear. It is indeed very difficult, therefore, I need to work hard to earn money, strive to set up a 3rd-grade spirit gathering array in the meditation room, and purchase a 3rd-grade 5 Elements Heart Sutra. Perhaps then I can make it in time, Lin Yi said seriously. He had already acquired all of that. He wasn't worried about those things at all. What worried him was how to disguise himself and how to make money using his true identity. Brother Lin Yi, I have a grade 3 spirit gathering array in my meditation room. Why don't you come to my house and cultivate with me? You just need to find a way to buy a grade 3 5 Elements Heart Sutra, try to open up as many meridians as possible, and achieve a larger circulation. That way, perhaps after 2 months, you'll still have a chance to cultivate to the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm. The Misty Sect's entrance exam only accepts boys and girls under 16 years old. This year is your last chance, Mo Xiaodang said earnestly. Seeing her enthusiasm, Lin Yi felt a pang of guilt. But there was nothing he could do. The immortal abode space was a matter of life and death for him, so he had to conceal it. Xiao Tang, cultivating a 3rd-grade spirit gathering array together will slow down your progress. I don't want to hold you back, Lin Yi waved his hand with a smile. No, it won't. My current cultivation level is already at the mid-stage of the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm. The next 2 months are enough for me to cultivate to the 7th level. Even if I miss the Misty Sect's entrance exam this year, I'm not yet 15, so I'll have another chance next year, Mo Xiaodang giggled. Youth is wonderful, Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh, his face filled with envy. He was already quite old, this year was his last chance. I'll try to find some rain-spreading jobs first, see if I can earn any money. If I can do it myself, I won't bother you. If I can't, we'll talk about it later, Lin Yi politely declined. Then, before Mo Xiaodang could speak, he immediately took the initiative and asked, Xiaodang, what are your plans for the future? I plan to join the Misty Sect this year, first becoming an outer disciple, and then striving to become an inner disciple, or even a true disciple. I want to be a superior person. With a solid foundation I've laid for my future child, he can fly even higher, Mo Xiaodang said earnestly. You're so young, yet you already have such thoughts. Lin Yi looked at Mo Xiaodang, a look of surprise on his face. This little girl, not even 15 years old, is so mature, sensible, and ambitious. Brother Lin Yi, don't underestimate me. I'm different from other girls my age. My mother and I have suffered a lot along the way. I want to give my mother a good life, and I want my future children to have a good life too, Mo Xiaodang said earnestly. I see, you're different from them, Lin Yi nodded in agreement, deeply convinced. Mo Xiaodang lost his father at a young age and lived with his mother, Mei Ziyu. He was taken in and raised by Uncle Fu, who died 3 years ago, leaving him all alone. Children from poor families mature early. He and Mo Ziyadang shared similar backgrounds, thoughts, temperaments, and aspirations. There was also a sense of shared hardship and compassion between them. Of course, it's too difficult for me to do it alone. Recently, many people have come to propose marriage, but those young men are all too immature. I can't connect with them at all. On the contrary, I can have very pleasant conversations with you, Brother Lin Yi, Mo Ziyadang said with a charming smile, satisfied. I feel the same way, Lin Yi smiled and nodded vigorously. This young girl is mature, sensible, generous, kind, and so beautiful. She also gets along very well with him. He truly feels like a soulmate. An engagement wouldn't be out of the question. Brother Lin Yi, how about this? After we get engaged, you try your best to reach the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm. If you succeed, you can join the Misty Sect, and we'll both join together. That would be a win-win situation. If you don't reach the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm, then I'll take care of the family from now on. I'll manage external affairs, and you'll manage internal affairs. I'll cultivate in the Misty Sect, and you can stay home, farm, and take care of my mother. When I return after my cultivation is complete, we'll get married. What do you think? Mo Ziyadang looked at Lin Yi and asked, discussing the matter. Like Mei Ziyu, she was very good at winning people over step by step. It seemed like she was giving others a choice, but in reality, everything was under her control. It was hard for others to refuse. Xiao Tang, I didn't expect you to be so ambitious. You take care of external affairs, and I'll take care of internal affairs. If that's really the case, wouldn't I become a kept man, a freeloader? Lin Yi was both amused and exasperated. This young girl, Mo Xiao Tang, had arranged everything for him perfectly. He wanted to refuse, but he didn't know how to say it. The two of them came from similar backgrounds, had similar pursuits, were both precocious and sensible, and both wanted to join the Misty Sect. Everything about them seemed perfect. Mo Xiao Tang was pretty and delicate, and would definitely grow up to be a great beauty. Mei Ziyu was also understanding, gentle, and charming. Such a mother-in-law was hard to find even with a lantern. If he wanted to get married, Mo Xiao Tang was indeed the best choice. But the problem was, he had the secret of his immortal abode space. If they got married, this secret would easily be exposed. Even if they get married, they'll wait until he's strong enough, like reaching the golden core realm, to have enough strength to protect himself. For now, they can get engaged, but they still need to maintain a certain distance and not live together. I mean, in case you can't join the Misty Sect, I can do this. If you can reach the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm before the Misty Sect's entrance exam and join with me, we can look after each other within the sect, which would be even better, Mo Ziyadang said with a grin. Hearing this, Lin Yi felt even more conflicted. If Mo Ziyadang were forceful and arranged everything directly, leaving him no choice, he could easily find an excuse to decline. But now, Mo Ziyadang had made two plans, arranging everything very properly and being very understanding. He wanted to refuse, but couldn't find an excuse. It seemed he had no choice but to agree to this marriage. Alright, then I'll listen to you. Let's get engaged now, and get married a few years later when we've both completed our cultivation. Lin Yi nodded with a smile. He couldn't live his whole life alone. Sooner or later, he would have to marry someone. Getting engaged now wouldn't be a problem. With his current strength and his ability to disguise himself, as long as he was careful and didn't lie with Mei Ziyu and Mo Ziyadang, he should be able to keep it a secret from the mother and daughter. In the days to come, he could observe their character carefully as he spent time with them. If they could always remain as they were now, gentle, kind, understanding, and compassionate, it would undoubtedly be a very good marriage. Yes, I'll do whatever Brother Lin Yi says. Mo Ziyadang was overjoyed and nodded hurriedly. Having settled the engagement with Lin Yi, a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Regardless of whether Lin Yi could join the Misty Sect, at least she and her mother were settled. Finally, there was a man in the family. No one would dare to mess with her and her mother anymore, no one would harass them, and they could live their lives in peace. As they spoke, the two arrived at the banks of the Liusu River, at the spirit fields outside the town. These 5 acres of spirit fields are my family's spirit fields. Arriving at one of the spirit fields, Mo Ziyadang took out an array plate from her storage ring, manipulated it, and opened the spirit field's restriction. Instantly, the layer of white mist surrounding the spirit field dissipated. The spirit grains and herbs planted in the spirit fields were revealed. In the 3 mu of low-grade first-rank spirit fields, spirit grains were planted, their greenish-yellow hue indicating poor growth. In the 2 mu of medium-grade spirit fields, ordinary first-rank medium-grade spirit herbs, including raindrop flowers, were planted, all looking wilted. These spirit fields are almost abandoned, Lin Yi sighed, shaking his head. Such good spirit fields, yet in such a pitiful state. Brother Lin Yi, from now on, I'll entrust these 5 mu of spirit fields to you for cultivation and management. My mother and I will also need your care, Mo Xiaodang said sweetly. Don't worry, leave it to me, I'll soon make these 5 mu of spirit fields vibrant with spring, Lin Yi agreed with a smile. His words fell. He immediately formed hand seals and swiftly unleashed the True Truth Realm Rainfall technique. Instantly, a white cloud appeared above the spirit field. A fine drizzle began to fall. Nourished by the rain, the seemingly wilted rain-kissed flowers instantly came back to life. The True Truth Realm Rainfall technique truly had an immediate effect. Brother Lin Yi, you're amazing, Mo Xiaodang clapped her hands in praise, her face beaming with joy. These 5 acres of parched spirit fields had finally received nourishment. With Lin Yi's meticulous care, her and her mother's long-dormant bodies and minds would soon be nourished as well. Then, like these revitalized rain-kissed flowers, they would become beautiful and captivating. There's hope for the future right now. Chapter 30, Measuring Dimensions. A light drizzle fell. Lin Yi unleashed the full power of his True Truth Realm rain drifting technique, meticulously raining down on the 5 acres of spiritual fields. It only took him about half an hour to complete the process. Brother Lin Yi, you truly can turn clouds into rain with a flick of your wrist. Your rain-drenching skills are amazing, Mo Xiaodang exclaimed sweetly. She spared no praise for Lin Yi, her eyes clearly filled with admiration. Such lavish praise from a clever and pretty young girl would be pleasing to anyone, making them genuinely happy. Xiaodang, stop praising me, you're making me feel so good, Lin Yi quickly waved his hand with a smile. And indeed, those words were quite pleasing to the ear. Perhaps, he had endured countless harsh words and criticisms along the way, and he was lacking in this area. Being praised by Mo Xiaodang like this, he felt incredibly comfortable from the inside out. Brother Lin Yi, I'm just stating the facts, with your True Truth Realm rain technique raining down on those 5 acres of spirit fields, the yield will probably double. You're not the same person you used to be. Now you're a genius with exceptional spiritual roots and top-tier magical talent. You need to adapt to these things in advance. This is just the beginning. I'll definitely brag about this every day from now on, and my mother will join in. You're a treasure, others just don't know it, Mo Xiaodang said earnestly. Being praised so enthusiastically, Lin Yi couldn't help but blush. Was he really that amazing? However, Mo Xiaodang's words did indeed boost his confidence considerably. In Mo Xiaodang's eyes, even without his celestial abode, he was still so sought after, practically a hot commodity. Now, looking at Mo Xiaodang, he felt increasingly close to her. This little girl was simply lovable. She had a beautiful face, and her cherry-like lips could speak sweetly, making her a delight to behold. Xiaodang, after raining down all 5 acres of spirit fields, I'll head back now, Lin Yi said with a smile, bidding farewell to Mo Xiaodang. With this marriage arranged, the two families would definitely be visiting each other more frequently. He would certainly invite Mo Xiaodang to his courtyard. In his meditation room, a 3rd-grade spirit gathering array was currently in place. He needed to quickly use his true identity to earn 6,000 low-grade spirit stones to cover up the flaw in this 3rd-grade spirit gathering array. Brother Lin Yi, don't rush back. My mother instructed that regardless of whether you agree to the engagement or not, after the rain, she must cordially invite you to my house, Mo Xiaodang said with a smile. To your house? Lin Yi looked surprised. So soon, she's coming to visit? He suddenly felt that Mei Ziyu and Mo Xiaodang were even more proactive than him. Was he really that good? My mother said that your clothes are very worn out, and she wants to make you 2 new sets of clothes. Come to my house, and let my mother take your measurements so that the clothes made will fit better, Mo Xiaodang said with a charming smile. This is inappropriate, we're not officially engaged yet, and Aunt May wants to make me clothes? This is too expensive, Lin Yi quickly shook his head, vehemently refusing. A brand new set of clothes, from head to toe, would cost at least 100 or 200 low-grade spirit stones. And that's just fabric made from ordinary spiritual plants. If it were made of superior fabric, a set of clothes would cost hundreds, even thousands, of low-grade spirit stones. Of course, such expensive clothes can withstand the cold, and even infuse spiritual energy into them, providing basic defensive effects. One set of clothes was already so expensive. Misty Sect actually wanted to make 2 brand new sets of clothes for him at once. This was simply going all out. Ordinary families didn't have much spare money. When he rented spirit fields before, the yields were higher than those of other spirit plant farmers in the area, and he had no spare money. Now that the rent has suddenly increased, he can't afford it anymore. These 2 brand new sets of clothes might only cost a few hundred low-grade spirit stones, which isn't particularly expensive. However, for Misty Sect and Wangxian, who are already struggling financially, this could make their situation even worse. What are you saying? Our family isn't well off, but we still have some savings. Besides, we run a tailor shop, and my mother is a tailor. These fabrics are at cost price, so 2 sets of clothes won't cost much. Don't worry about it, it's nothing. Don't mention 2 sets of clothes. When you come to our house in the future, even if you want a grade 3 5 elements heart sutra, my mother will do everything she can to buy it for you. We're family, we'll be family sooner or later, so you don't need to be so polite. Come with me. Wangxian took Lin Yi's hand and walked towards her home. Faced with Wangxian's warm invitation, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile wryly. He really couldn't find a reason to refuse. Holding Wangxian's soft, white hand, the 2 chatted and laughed all the way. What wasn't a short distance passed by in the blink of an eye. They arrived at Fulin Lane. Looking at the magnificent mansions, Lin Yi sighed in admiration. This was the residence of mid-level cultivators. It was truly unimaginable how spacious and luxurious the mansions of top-level cultivators must be. Moreover, there was a spiritual vein underground in Fulin Lane, making the spiritual energy here much denser than in the remote Misty Rain Lane. Even without the money to set up a spirit gathering array, the cultivation speed here would be much faster. The difference between the rich and the poor was truly multifaceted. I really hope that one day, I can also have a mansion like this, Lin Yi said with high spirits. It's simple, our family isn't well off, but we live in Fulin Lane and have a courtyard like this. Once you move in, this courtyard will be yours, Wangxian giggled. Hearing this, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile. Indeed. As long as he married Wangxian, he could directly own a large courtyard like this. Becoming a live-in son-in-law seemed like a good shortcut, saving him decades of struggle. Of course, if he wasn't capable enough, he might be kicked out in the future, homeless and penniless. He still had to work hard to buy himself a large courtyard like this, so that it would truly belong to him and he could lie there with more peace of mind. As they spoke, the 2 walked through the long Fulin Lane and arrived in front of a large courtyard. This courtyard, compared to the surrounding courtyards with their tightly closed gates, felt much more welcoming. The vermilion gates were wide open. Many brand new clothes hung in the courtyard. Misty Sect, with her graceful figure, was drying a piece of fine fabric in the yard, holding a long bamboo stick. Mother, we're back. Wangxian rushed into the courtyard. Mother, brother Lin Yi agreed to be engaged to me. Wangxian grabbed Misty Sect's hand, her face beaming with joy. That's wonderful. Now that you're engaged, I can finally relax. Misty Sect smiled radiantly. Finding a son-in-law like Lin Yi made her happier than finding a lot of money. The mother-in-law looked at her son-in-law and grew increasingly fond of him. Lin Yi is now strong and healthy, brimming with yang energy and possessing exceptional talent. Even his only disadvantage, his humble origins, has become an advantage. Having a son-in-law who is an orphan is actually the best outcome. This way, he has no ties or constraints and can devote himself wholeheartedly to the mother and daughter, working diligently. Lin Yi, come here quickly, I'll take your measurements and make you 2 brand new outfits. Misty Sect beckoned to Lin Yi, smiling gently. Aunt May, Lin Yi walked to Misty Sect's side and greeted her with a smile. Misty Sect and Wangxian were both so proactive, so excited, and so satisfied with the engagement, which put his mind at ease. The biggest fear for a son-in-law is being looked down upon. Now it seems he doesn't need to worry about that at all. Lin Yi, turn around, let me take your measurements. Misty Sect, holding a measuring tape, walked to Lin Yi's side, her gaze tender and gentle, and smiled softly. Mother, you're busy hanging up the fabric, why don't I take Lin Yi's measurements? Wangxian volunteered. Xiang, I'll take the measurements. You're still young, you're not familiar with male cultivator measurements, you might not be able to get it right, let me do it. I'm using the finest fabric for Lin Yi. If the measurements are wrong and the clothes don't fit, this fine fabric will be completely wasted. What a pity. Mei Ziyi looked at Mo Xiaodang, her face serious, and said earnestly. All right. Mo Xiaodang felt somewhat helpless and aggrieved, quite unwilling. At this moment, she became even more determined to cultivate diligently, to rise above others in the future, and to become a wealthy person. If you have money, even if the fabric is expensive, and you can't finish a set in one go, wasting some fabric, it doesn't matter, you can just make another one. Without money, you can only wish for it but lack the means. She couldn't even take Lin Yi's measurements. Lin Yi, stand still. Mei Ziyi smiled, took the measuring tape, walked to Lin Yi's side, and began to measure him. In a short while, Mei Ziyi had measured Lin Yi's entire body. Alright, I know your measurements perfectly. These 2 sets of clothes will definitely fit you perfectly. Mei Ziyi put away the measuring tape, smiling broadly. Thank you, Aunt Mei. Lin Yi smiled, bowed, and took his leave. He was very happy to have 2 brand new sets of clothes to wear, both made of excellent fabric. It's only proper to reciprocate. Aunt Mei, I don't have any money right now, so I can only be impolite this once, Lin Yi said apologetically. I'll go earn some money now and buy Aunt Mei and Xiao Tang some gifts later, Lin Yi promised with a smile and was about to take his leave. Wait, I have something very important to tell you, Mei Ziyi called out to Lin Yi, her face serious. What is it? Lin Yi asked curiously. Chapter 31, Exorbitant Dowry. Since you and Xiaodang are engaged, shouldn't you set a date? I'll hold an engagement banquet for you two, invite all our relatives and friends, and let those young men who are interested in Xiaodang give up completely and cut off their hopes, Mei Ziyi said gently with a smile. Lin Yi was a little stunned. This was too fast. It was like forcing a duck onto a shelf. They took the initiative to come to his door, discuss the engagement, agree to the engagement, and hold an engagement banquet. This wave after wave gave him no chance to catch his breath. Aunt Mei, you're pushing me too hard, I can't handle it, how about we postpone it? I need to pay for the engagement banquet, and I'm currently broke. I can barely afford to eat. Lin Yi looked at Mei Ziyi with a serious expression. From the moment he met Mei Ziyi, the initiative was completely out of his hands. Mei Ziyi and Mo Xiaodang, this mother and daughter, had used their gentle tactics to subtly win him over. Women are truly terrifying. The key is, he can't find a legitimate reason or suitable excuse to oppose their decision. You're a live-in son-in-law, so we're the ones who should be paying the betrothal gifts. You don't need to contribute anything, besides, you've already agreed to the engagement. A day earlier or a day later makes no difference to you, but if you delay the engagement banquet, people will come to propose to Xiaodang. My daughter and I are alone and powerless. If they try to coerce or bribe us, and we refuse, we'll offend them. If you hold the engagement banquet sooner, people will know Xiaodang is already taken and will naturally give up. We won't be in trouble, and we can live a peaceful life, Mei Ziyi said helplessly and sadly. Mo Xiaodang's face also showed a somber expression. The atmosphere became somewhat heavy and oppressive. Seeing the mother and daughter with their heads down, red eyes, and on the verge of tears, Lin Yi felt a pang of pity. Alright, then let's get engaged. Lin Yi hesitated for a moment before agreeing. The engagement banquet would be held at Mei Ziyi's place, so his secret wouldn't be exposed. When do you want it? You decide the date. Mei Ziyi immediately went from sorrow to joy, smiling brightly. Mo Xiaodang also smiled. How about 3 days from now? Lin Yi asked. During these 3 days, he planned to use his true identity to try and earn some money. In other people's eyes, he was currently starving and broke. Even though he had money, he didn't dare spend it. He was hesitant and timid in everything he did, completely unable to let go. He was even afraid that someone would rush into his courtyard, see the grade 3 spirit gathering array set up in his meditation room, and then suspect him. It wasn't that he was paranoid, but this matter was of great importance, concerning the secrets of the immortal abode space and his life. He had to be careful and cautious, proceeding steadily, and not make any mistakes. I'll listen to you. 3 days later, I'll hold an engagement banquet for you two. You don't need to prepare anything, just show up. Mei Ziyi looked at Lin Yi and said with a smile. Brother Lin Yi, by holding an engagement banquet, you can get a dowry. Whatever you want, we'll buy it for you, Mo Xiaodang said sweetly. No need, how could I take your money? Lin Yi quickly shook his head. What are you talking about? 1 code equals 1 code, that's the rule. You must have this betrothal gift, Mei Ziyu said firmly with a determined face. That's it, with this betrothal gift, your life will be much easier, Mo Xiaodan continued. Then feel free to do whatever you want, just think about it, don't spend too much money, Lin Yi said with a smile. He now somewhat understood why Mei Ziyu and Mo Xiaodang were in a hurry to hold an engagement banquet. It turned out that I just wanted to give him a betrothal gift, help him, and make his life easier. They, mother and daughter, are really kind-hearted. With his background, he was really lucky to be recruited by Mei Ziyu and Mo Xiaodang as their son-in-law. We'll give you 20,000 low-grade spirit stones as a betrothal gift, and also buy you a third-grade cultivation technique and 60 bottles of first-grade spirit-nurturing pills. What do you think? Mei Ziyu looked at Lin Yi and asked, trying to negotiate. Brother Lin Yi, please don't think it's too little. My mother has done her best, Mo Xiaodan quickly pleaded for Mei Ziyu. How could I possibly think it's too little? This is too much, I really can't accept it, Lin Yi shook his head repeatedly. Mei Ziyu and Mo Xiaodang were treating him like he had found a treasure. They were being too good to him. They were giving him so much, and they were still worried he wouldn't think it was enough. I'm very easy to please, I'm not the kind of person who takes without giving, Lin Yi smiled. Since you don't mind the small amount, then it's settled, I'll give you 20,000 low-grade spirit stones now. I'll go buy 60 bottles of grade 1 spirit gathering pills later, and also a grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique. Xiao Tang will deliver it to you tonight, Mei Ziyu said with a smile. Aunt Mei, stop, Lin Yi said solemnly. I'll buy the grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique myself later, and I don't need the 60 bottles of grade 1 spirit gathering pills for now, forget about those two, listen to me, Lin Yi said decisively. Mei Ziyu and Mo Xiaodang were so good to him. He already had the grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique. He couldn't let the mother and daughter waste any more money. Since you don't need these, let's just cash them all out. I'll give you 36,000 low-grade spirit stones, Mei Ziyu said decisively. As soon as she finished speaking, she took out a blue cloth bag from her green storage pouch at her waist, containing 360 mid-grade spirit stones. Here you go, Mei Ziyu smiled sweetly. This is too much, Lin Yi hesitated to take it. Take it, this is all necessary. The amount of the dowry a live-in son-in-law receives is very important, it determines how much we value you. If you receive too little, other cultivators will laugh at you, saying you're a freeloader with no skills, and you'll never be able to hold your head high again. If you receive enough, others will feel that we're begging you to come to our door, and they'll treat you with great respect, not daring to be disrespectful, Mei Ziyu said seriously. In that case, I'll accept it. Lin Yi reluctantly accepted the heavy blue cloth bag Mei Ziyu handed him and put it directly into his storage bag. Accepting this dowry of 36,000 low-grade spirit stones, his previously uneasy heart immediately calmed down. This dowry was his legitimate income. After today, he can confidently tell everyone that he bought his grade 3 spirit gathering array and grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique with his betrothal gifts. He no longer needs to worry about those two things. He can now cultivate freely. With a grade 3 spirit gathering array and grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique, plus his complete set of 5 elemental roots, all of which are top grade, opening his meridians through a simultaneous cultivation of the 5 elements will be much easier, and he'll have an advantage in circulating his energy. Even if his cultivation speed is very fast later on, it will all be normal. People might say he's a freeloader, relying on women, but they won't suspect he has other hidden ways to make money. The secrets of the immortal abode space can be kept very well hidden. Being a freeloader certainly doesn't sound good. But it tastes really good. Why didn't he think of this path before? Want to get rich? Collecting betrothal gifts is the shortcut. No wonder some female cultivators separate from their husbands so easily and seek new ones. It turns out, each new husband brings a hefty betrothal gift. By separating multiple times and finding multiple husbands, they become incredibly wealthy. Chapter 32, The Rainmaking Duty. Lin Yi, this money is yours. You can spend it as you please, buy whatever you want. Mei Ziyu looked at Lin Yi and smiled sweetly. Brother Lin Yi, how do you plan to spend it? Mo Xiaodang asked with a smile. I've thought it all out. I'll first buy a second-hand grade 3 spirit gathering array, then I'll buy a grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique. With these two, my cultivation speed will be much faster. There are still 66 days left until the Pyaomyo Sect's entrance examination. I still have the chance to cultivate to the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm, Lin Yi said with a beaming smile. He already had a grade 3 spirit gathering array and a grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique. Even the small heavenly circuit, due to the simultaneous cultivation of the 5 elements, made it easier to open the meridians, and he had already opened 22 meridians. Furthermore, possessing all 5 elemental spiritual roots, all of them of superior quality, his cultivation speed was arguably the best in the entire Forgotten Immortal town. However, he achieved this speed through the money earned from his immortal abode space, something he couldn't openly discuss. Now, with a hefty dowry of 36,000 low-grade spirit stones, that shortfall was directly filled. At this moment, Lin Yi felt a sense of sudden enlightenment. He had originally planned to find some planting jobs to earn money and launder the income from his immortal abode space. Now it seemed there was more than one way to launder money. He could broaden his thinking in the future and not be too fixated on a single method. There were actually many ways to make money. That's wonderful, Mo Xiaodan clapped her hands in praise. I'll also work hard in my cultivation. In 2 months, we'll have a chance to enter the Misty Sect together. You two are both very promising. I've finally seen the light at the end of the tunnel. Mei Xiaoyu smiled with satisfaction. Mo Xiaodang was only 14 years old, but under her careful guidance, she quickly cultivated to the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm, giving her a chance to join the Misty Sect. If Lin Yi was lucky, he would also have a chance to join the Misty Sect. In this way, her daughter and son-in-law would both be disciples of the Misty Sect from now on. No one in Fulin Lane would dare to look down on her anymore. Those stinky men would no longer dare to say those frivolous things to her, nor would they dare to have any improper thoughts about her. When Lin Yi and Xiaodang had children in the future, her grandchildren would definitely be outstanding people. If Lin Yi and Xiaotang could have a bunch of children, within a few decades, they could spread their influence and grow into a powerful cultivation family in this forgotten immortal town. By the way, I also asked the neighbors in Fulin Lane for you. They are all well off, and their spiritual fields are generally between 5 and 10 mu. I heard the terrain drifting technique has reached the true essence realm, and raining on spiritual fields can greatly increase their yield. They all want you to do the rain. Do you want to give it a try? Mei Ziai looked at Lin Yi and asked seriously. Mother, I think we should just forget about it. There are only 66 days left until the Pyaomyo Sect's assessment. Let brother Lin Yi focus on his cultivation, put money aside for now. It's more important for him to reach the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm and join the Pyaomyo Sect, Mo Xiaodang earnestly advised. The key is, I've already made arrangements with them, and even boasted that I could give them the most favorable and cheapest price. If Lin Yi won't even let them see me, how can I face anyone after this? Lin Yi, why don't you meet them? If it doesn't work out, then refuse. How about that? Mei Xiaoyu discussed with Lin Yi. Meeting them? Of course, that's not a problem, Aunt Mei. Since you've already negotiated these things with them, why don't you tell me the specific price, and I'll consider it, Lin Yi said seriously. Even a small amount is still something. Moreover, he needed this source of income to launder the revenue from his immortal abode space. The exorbitant dowry could only solve the immediate problem. In the future, his immortal abode space would still generate a steady stream of income, and he would definitely need to buy even more expensive cultivation techniques and treasures. He needed to find a stable and long-term money laundering method. The high dowry route was, after all, a one-time deal. Mei Ziaru and Mo Xiaodang had been so good to him. He couldn't possibly be ungrateful and act like those shameless female cultivators who kept breaking off engagements and demanding exorbitant dowries. That would be too immoral. The high dowry Mei Ziaru gave him might be her life savings. He definitely couldn't do something so heartless. This path was unworkable. For stable and sustainable money laundering, working as a farmhand was a good option. I've already agreed on a deal with them. 1 mu of low-grade first-rank spirit field, with 3 months of rain for a season of spirit grain. I'll give you 100 low-grade spirit stones, 1 mu of medium-grade first-rank spirit field, planted with spirit herbs, generally takes 5 months to mature. I'll give you 200 low-grade spirit stones. Are you satisfied with this reward? Mei Ziayu asked seriously. This price is quite good. If each family has 10 or so mu of spirit field, 10 families will have 100 mu of spirit field. Even if they are all low-grade first-rank spirit fields, you can earn 10,000 low-grade spirit stones in 3 months. This income is quite considerable. It's much higher than my income from renting spirit fields, Lin Yi analyzed with a smile. Brother Lin Yi, you can't calculate it like that. There are over 100 acres of spirit fields, belonging to more than a dozen families, and each family has a different time for rainmaking. If you really do this, the rainmaking duties for over 100 acres of spirit fields will keep you extremely busy, leaving little time for cultivation. If you ask me, you should meet with them and say you're in a hurry to break through to the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm, and simply decline. Mo Xiaodang couldn't help but advise. Xiaodang, what you said makes sense. There are more than a dozen families, each with a low-grade first-rank spirit field and a medium-grade first-rank spirit field. Some grow spirit grains, some grow spirit herbs, and the types of spirit herbs are also different. The rainmaking times are all scattered. If I really take on so many rainmaking duties, I won't have time to cultivate. Lin Yi nodded seriously. Mainly, he wasn't satisfied with the rainmaking reward either. After 3 months of such hard work, he only earned 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. In the past, he would have been overjoyed. But now, he could earn over 20,000 low-grade spirit stones by cultivating diligently for 3 to 5 days, burning his cultivation energy to ripen a batch of jade dew fruits. He truly looked down on this meager reward for rainmaking. Besides, this reward could only launder 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. He earned far more by selling spiritual herbs in his immortal abode. The rest of his money was still unlaundered and unavailable for spending. How about this? I'll ask those large-scale farmers for you. They all own tens, even hundreds, of acres of spirit fields, cultivating spirit grains on a large scale. You just need to go and provide rain every 10 days or so. That way, you can not only earn a considerable amount of money for providing rain, but also have plenty of time to cultivate. Earning money and cultivating won't interfere with each other, Mei Ziyu suggested with a smile. Aunt May, this is a good idea. Lin Yi's eyes lit up, and he immediately nodded in approval. Providing rain for large-scale farmers is indeed much simpler and more convenient. This approach is worth a try. Chapter 33, Mother and Daughter's Thoughts. That's absolutely right. Large-scale farmers all have their own trusted rain-casting masters. At your age, you're eager to break through to the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm and prepare for the entrance exam for the Misty Sect. If you successfully complete the exam and join the Misty Sect, you'll have to go there to learn. You'll only have a little over 2 months to cast rain spells in Wangxian Town. Under these circumstances, those large-scale farmers basically won't use you, Mei Ziyu explained earnestly. Lin Yi nodded in agreement. If those large-scale farmers hired him, they would have to dismiss their original rain-casting masters now, and after 2 months, when he went to the Misty Sect, they would have to find another rain-casting master. There was simply no need for them to hire him. It would be too much trouble. Even if he didn't go to the Misty Sect and stayed in Wangxian Town for a long time, finding a rain-making job like this would still depend on connections. If you go to work as a rain-making assistant for a large-scale farmer now, they definitely won't want you. If you don't successfully join the Misty Sect and stay in Wangxian Town for a long time, I'll use my connections to plead your case and see if I can get you a rain-making opportunity. Mei Ziyu comforted him gently. There were too many cultivators, and the competition was too fierce. It was becoming increasingly difficult for young people to earn money, and they had to rely on their parents to pave the way for them in everything they did. Lin Yi had become her son-in-law, so she had to find a way to pave the way for him. Of course, it would be best if Lin Yi could successfully join the Misty Sect. Aunt May, since this path is not feasible, then forget it. Lin Yi shook his head slightly. Before receiving the 36,000 low-grade spirit stones, he was eager to earn money to cover up his secret purchase of a grade 3 spirit gathering array and a grade 3 5 elements heart sutra. The quickest way he could think of to make money was by providing rain-making services. Now, with his high dowry, he had more than enough to cover up the purchase of the grade 3 spirit gathering array and the grade 3 5 elements heart sutra. He couldn't get rain-making services from large-scale farmers. He could only earn 10,000 low-grade spirit stones by providing rain-making services to a dozen or so small farmers over 3 months. That meant he would only receive about 3,000 low-grade spirit stones a month, a very low income. Moreover, the rain-making services provided by these dozen or so spirit fields are scattered and fragmented, wasting a lot of time and hindering his cultivation. This path is not suitable for him. I'll go back and think about it some more, see if there are any other ways to make money, Lin Yi said earnestly. Brother Lin Yi, why don't you just focus on your cultivation? You won't spend much money in these 2 months. After you buy the Grade 3 Spirit Gathering Array and the Grade 3 5 Elements Heart Sutra, you'll have a lot left over from the betrothal gifts. You won't spend it all in 2 months, Mo Xiaodang said with a smile. She hoped that Lin Yi could cultivate diligently and enter the Misty Sect with her. Staying in Wangxian Town as a rainmaking master was not as promising as joining the Misty Sect. That's right, Lin Yi, just listen to Xiao Tang and focus on your cultivation. Don't lose sight of the bigger picture for a small gain. If you run out of money later, just come back to me. Mei Xiaoyu smiled sweetly. Looking at Mei Xiaoyu and her daughter Mo Xiaodang, Lin Yi felt a surge of warmth in his heart. This mother and daughter were so good to him. Okay, I'll go back and think about it, see if there's a suitable way for me to make money. If not, I'll focus on my cultivation and strive to break through to the 7th level of the Spirit Gathering realm. Lin Yi nodded decisively, making his decision. Immediately, he took his leave. Mei Xiaoyu and Mo Xiaodang saw Lin Yi off at the courtyard gate. Mother, isn't the betrothal gift you gave brother Lin Yi too much? Do we have any money left? Watching Lin Yi's back disappear at the end of Fulin Lane, Mo Xiaodang couldn't help but turn around and look at Mei Xiaoyu, asking seriously. She was preparing for the Miao Sect's entrance examination, which would require a large sum of money. The engagement was important, but she didn't want it to affect her future. In her heart, she came first, her mother Mei Xiaoyu second, and Lin Yi could only come third. No matter what, she had to join the Miao Sect and become someone of high status. No one could stop her. Mei Xiaoyu couldn't, and Lin Yi even less so. The dowry of 36,000 low-grade spirit stones I gave Lin Yi this time is indeed a bit high compared to other sons-in-law. After giving this expensive dowry, I only have 3,000 low-grade spirit stones left, Mei Xiaoyu said truthfully. Only 3,000 low-grade spirit stones left. After cultivating to the 7th level of the Spirit Gathering realm through my own efforts, I only qualify to participate in the Misty Sect's entrance examination. To pass the examination, I must outperform everyone else. I also need to buy offensive techniques, movement techniques, battle armor, and a spirit sword. All of these cost money. 3,000 low-grade spirit stones isn't even enough for a fraction of that. Mo Xiaodang shook her head decisively. At this moment, she seemed more mature than before, with a very clear plan for the future. Mother, why don't we break off the engagement? This money is only enough for me to challenge the Misty Sect. It's not enough for Lin Yi and me, Mo Xiaodang said shockingly. Nonsense, we just got engaged to Lin Yi, and we were the ones who begged him and offered him a high dowry. If you break off the engagement now, won't all our previous efforts be wasted? Mei Xiaoyu said coldly. But does getting engaged mean sacrificing my future? Mo Xiaodang pouted, dissatisfied. You're only 14. Even if you fail the assessment this year and don't enter the Misty Sect, you'll have another chance next year. With your talent, you should be able to succeed for 2 years in a row. But where can you find a promising talent like Lin Yi? Mei Xiaoyu gently advised. Is Lin Yi really as good as you say? He is indeed handsome, and his spiritual root talent is also quite good, but he comes from a poor background. If it weren't for this high dowry, he wouldn't be able to afford a Grade 3 Spirit Gathering Array and a Grade 3 5 Elements Heart Sutra. Without such cultivation conditions, he wouldn't be able to cultivate to the 7th level of the Spirit Gathering realm before the Misty Sect's entrance assessment, and he wouldn't be able to join the Misty Sect at all, Mo Xiaodang said seriously. Then, she changed the subject. On the contrary, if this exorbitant dowry were spent on me, I could easily join the Misty Sect and become a disciple. Then, Lin Yi would have no hope of joining the Misty Sect in his lifetime, while I would be a high-ranking disciple. For him to marry into our family would be a huge step up for him. We wouldn't need to give him such a large dowry. Wouldn't it be better if we got engaged to him after I joined the Misty Sect? Mo Xiaodang analyzed logically. This approach was clearly more advantageous for her. I've considered all of that. The problem is, you've underestimated Lin Yi. His appearance, temperament, talent, and work ethic are all top-notch. It's just that his background isn't good, and he was previously hampered by a strange, debilitating illness, which has obscured his true potential. Our family is of average means, so we can only act quickly before others discover him. If we act too late, other large-scale farmers with only one daughter will definitely want him as their son-in-law. Then, they'll offer higher dowries, have better family backgrounds, and their daughters will have better futures. Why would Lin Yi choose us then? Mei Xiaoyu looked at Mo Xiaodang and asked seriously. Hearing this, Mo Xiaodang fell silent. She truly couldn't find any reason to refute it. Lin Yi is a rough gem. Whoever gets his hands on him will see him shine brightly. Our only advantage is our distant kinship with Uncle Fu, giving us a head start. If we don't give him a betrothal gift and arrange the engagement soon, we'll be wasting this advantage. I don't have enough money. If I did, I'd even give him 50,000 low-grade spirit stones as a betrothal gift, Mei Ziyu said earnestly. She was very satisfied with Lin Yi, liking him more and more the more she looked at him. She felt it was worth it, a huge gain, even though she had spent so much money. Mo Ziyadang, after all, was just a young girl, not even 15 years old yet. Her perspective was still somewhat short-sighted and lacked foresight. Mother, since you've made up your mind, I'll wait another year. If by this time next year you haven't bought me all the offensive techniques, movement skills, armor, and spirit sword, I'll break off the engagement with Lin Yi and get the betrothal gifts back, Mo Ziyadang said resolutely. This was the most she could sacrifice. Nonsense, think about it, with this hefty betrothal gift, Lin Yi will have a chance to join the Misty Sect this year. Once he enters the Misty Sect, he won't lack opportunities to make money. As his fiancé, do you think he'll just stand by and do nothing? Why would I need to break off the engagement? Mei Ziyu said seriously. What if Lin Yi fails this year? Mo Ziyadang asked. It's okay if Lin Yi fails. He can stay in Wangxian town, cultivate our 5 acres of spirit fields, or work as a helper in planting and providing rainmaking services. With plenty of time, he can provide rainmaking services to many small-scale farmers and earn quite a bit of money. I'll ask around and pull some strings. Maybe he can even provide rainmaking services to large-scale farmers. Then he'll earn even more. Lin Yi is a money tree. Earning money to help you challenge the Miao sect is a piece of cake, isn't it? Mei Ziyu said with a smile. If that's the case, then my delay of a year is nothing. Mo Ziyadang smiled again. After getting engaged to Lin Yi, she indeed had more options. Lin Yi is a very good person. You've only just met him, so it's normal that you don't have any feelings for him yet. Spend more time with him in the future, and you'll soon fall for him. Then you won't be like this, only thinking of yourself. Mei Ziyu looked at Mo Ziyadang, her eyes filled with expectation. I already like him a little. I'm willing to sacrifice a year for him. I hope everything goes as smoothly as you say, Mo Ziyadang said shyly. She still preferred to have everything under her control. Now, the initiative was entirely in Lin Yi's hands. She was very uneasy. Mother, you're only talking about the good outcomes, not the bad ones. What if Lin Yi takes this exorbitant dowry and successfully joins the Misty Sect? What if, after arriving at the Misty Sect, Lin Yi changes his mind and abandons us, mother and daughter? What should I do then? Mo Ziyadang couldn't help but ask. She didn't understand why women always placed their hopes on men. Could men be trusted? Why not hold on to their own hopes firmly? Lin Yi isn't that kind of person. I believe in him, Mei Ziyu said firmly. Seeing Mei Ziyu's insistence, Mo Ziyadang couldn't help but feel helpless. Who could guarantee that Lin Yi wouldn't change his mind in the future? But her mother had made such a decision, and besides, she genuinely liked Lin Yi. She was still willing to take the gamble. Chapter 34, The Elixir Shop. Walking back to Misty Rain Alley, Lin Yi remained deep in thought. After traversing the long alley, he arrived at the gate of his own courtyard. Lin Yi made a solemn decision. This path of using raincasting is simply not feasible. Perhaps, I was heading in the wrong direction from the start, Lin Yi said gravely. He earned 10,000 low-grade spirit stones by casting raincasting spells on people. He could only spend these 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. The 20,000 low-grade spirit stones he earned from his immortal abode space were still unavailable for him to spend. Their origin remained unknown. Whether it's an exorbitant dowry or rainmaking for others, these two ways of making money are too clean, the income too predictable, leaving no room for maneuver. I can only spend as much as I earn, and I can only spend the money I've worked so hard to earn. The money I quickly earned using the immortal abode space is always stuck in my hands. I dare not spend it. Lin Yi's thoughts became clearer and clearer. He should find a more suitable way to make money. This kind of way, others know you are making money, but they cannot know exactly how much you have earned. It is difficult to predict. In this way, there is a lot of room for maneuver. Opening a shop and doing business is exactly this kind of way. Lin Yi smiled. He immediately thought of business. Running a shop means everyone knows you're making money, but no one knows exactly how much. This allows someone to deceive everyone. Even if they only earn 3,000 low-grade spirit stones from the shop, they can claim they earn 20,000. This launders the 17,000 low-grade spirit stones earned from their immortal abode into shop income. If business is good and they earn 10,000 low-grade spirit stones, they can claim 50,000. This launders the 40,000 low-grade spirit stones earned from their immortal abode. This is true laundering, completely clean. No one can find any flaws or grounds for doubt. Opening a shop is the best way out, Lin Yi smiled. This was the path truly suited to him. I'll open a spirit herb shop, Lin Yi immediately decided. He could buy spirit herbs at low prices and sell them at high prices, profiting from the difference. Furthermore, he could take the spirit herbs he had accelerated in his immortal abode space to his own shop and sell them, saving on initial investment. This was essentially borrowing a goose to lay eggs. Using the spirit herb shop, he could legitimately sell the spirit herbs he had accelerated, turning them into his own legitimate income. I need to plan this carefully, Lin Yi was excited and full of fighting spirit. Immediately, he hurriedly went into his courtyard, entered his meditation room, and began to seriously plan the shop's opening. Lin Yi took out his pen, ink, and paper, meticulously writing down every aspect he considered, constantly revising and perfecting his plan. A full hour later, Lin Yi finally stopped writing. A sheet of blue paper was densely covered with his notes, all about the things he needed to do to open the shop. These were mainly divided into several aspects. The first was the shop itself. Some people buy their own shops, but the initial investment and expenses are too high, clearly unsuitable for him. Right now, he had no money. Everyone knew he was broke. He decided to rent a shop and pay rent monthly, significantly reducing costs. The second was the source of the spiritual herbs. He could refer to the spiritual herb pavilion and purchase the spiritual herbs grown by the plant growers. By paying slightly higher prices than the spiritual herb pavilion, he wouldn't have to worry about the source of the herbs. Of course, most spiritual plant growers cultivate common spiritual herbs. Rare spiritual herbs are not easy to acquire. He can use his immortal abode space to accelerate the growth of rare spiritual herbs himself, so his spiritual herb shop can always have rare spiritual herbs for sale. There shouldn't be any problem with the source of spiritual herbs. The third point is selling. He can sell spiritual herbs at prices slightly lower than those of the spiritual herb pavilion, which should make the business very good. Doing it this way, the profit margin isn't enough, and after deducting the shop rent, he might even lose money. Even if he breaks even, it's still a loss. After all, he's been busy for so long, doing other things would also bring him rewards. For others, this kind of business is unsustainable and would quickly fail. But he's different. He could use this herb shop to sell the rare herbs he had artificially matured, making money from them. The herb shop only needed to sell enough to cover the rent. A shop, buying herbs, selling herbs, plus artificially maturing herbs, it's a sure thing. Lin Yi smiled broadly. He currently had 36,000 low-grade spirit stones as a betrothal gift, which should be enough to cover the shop's opening costs. First, dismantle these grade 3 spirit gathering arrays, Lin Yi decisively decided. He immediately began dismantling all the array symbols in the meditation room, placing them along with the array plates in a blue cloth bag, which he then stored in his storage ring. From now on, even if Mo Xiaodang and Mei Ziyu came to his courtyard, they wouldn't be able to detect any flaws. He could say that he wanted to open a shop to make money, and for the time being, he wouldn't buy the grade 3 spirit gathering array and the grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique. Once the shop made money and could generate a continuous stream of income, then he would buy the grade 3 spirit gathering array and the grade 3 5 elements cultivation technique. Let's go to the market and see if there are any shops for rent. Lin Yi immediately left a meditation room, walked out of the courtyard, and headed to the market. In a short while, he arrived at the market. The market was bustling with people. Lin Yi strolled around the market. After roughly exploring the entire market, he found 5 spirit medicine shops. Lingayo Pavilion, the largest and most prosperous spirit medicine shop, fared much worse. 1 or 2 shops were practically deserted, on the verge of closing down. Even the more profitable spirit medicine shops were struggling. Other businesses were even more uneventful. Only 1 or 2 shops were thriving. The rest were barely managing to stay afloat. A few were unable to continue and were preparing to close down. Next, Lin Yi specifically went to these struggling shops to inquire whether they were willing to rent out their premises. He asked several, and they were all interested in renting, but the prices were too high. There was also a fabric shop that offered to buy his entire stockpile of fabric. Lin Yi immediately and decisively refused. He wanted to run a spirit herb business, leveraging his immortal abode space to make a steady profit. He wouldn't make money in the fabric business. In fact, he'd lose everything if he took it on. After inquiring at over a dozen shops, Lin Yi finally found what seemed like the most suitable place. It was a small, deserted shop near the end of a somewhat secluded street. The shopkeeper sold spirit wine, but unfortunately, its remote location meant business was very slow. Even the best wine needs advertising. I can't keep this business going, so I'll just transfer the shop to you. I have 3 months left on the lease, and the rent is 3,000 low-grade spirit stones per month. If you're willing to pay me 9,000 low-grade spirit stones, I can move all these spirit wines out today and make room for you. The chubby spirit wine shop owner, Guo Fen, looked at Lin Yi as if he had seen a savior, and said earnestly, "If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels." Chapter 35, Business is Hard. Such a remote place, and the rent is so expensive, Lin Yi asked, feigning surprise and frowning. He had been asking around. The rents for these shops were all extremely high. The more bustling and lively the street, the higher the rent, often 4,000 or 5,000 low-grade spirit stones a month. In the most sought-after locations, the rent could even reach tens of thousands of low-grade spirit stones a month. The high rent was one aspect. The key was the long lease term. Leases were generally for 1 year, with 6-month leases being rare. At 5,000 low-grade spirit stones per month, the annual rent would be 60,000 low-grade spirit stones. The payment method was generally 3 months deposit and 1 month's rent in advance. Paying 3 months deposit and 1 month's rent meant putting up 4 months' worth of money. With his 36,000 low-grade spirit stones, renting those shops was basically hopeless. After rent, there was no capital left to buy spirit herbs. Business simply couldn't continue. No wonder so many spirit plant cultivators spent their entire lives cultivating spirit fields, none considering commerce. An ordinary cultivator would need many years to accumulate 36,000 low-grade spirit stones, not even enough to cover capital. Trying to do business with that money would result in total loss, making it nearly impossible to recover. Under such circumstances, naturally few cultivators were willing to take such a risk. Everyone sought stability and a peaceful life, placing their hopes on the next generation. "I have a shop rental agreement here, you can see for yourself." Guo Fen quickly took out a shop rental agreement from his storage bag and placed it in front of Lin Yi. Lin Yi glanced through it and couldn't help but smile. This shop rental agreement was more lenient than any he had seen before. The rent was indeed 3,000 low-grade spirit stones per month, the lowest price among all the shops he had inquired about. Moreover, the deposit for this shop was only 1 month's rent. However, 3 months' rent had to be paid up front, and after 3 months, the remaining 3 months' rent had to be paid in full. If the contract was terminated midway, the deposit would not be refunded. If the lease was successfully completed for a year and the owner did not wish to renew, the 1-month deposit could be refunded. Look at this agreement. You rented it for about 9 months and 10 days, just paid the last 3 months' rent, and still have a 1-month deposit with the landlord. Lin Yi looked at Guo Fen after reading the agreement and asked seriously. "That's right, you gave me 9,000 low-grade spirit stones, which is enough to do business for almost 3 months. If your business is not doing well after 3 months, you can choose not to renew the lease, and the landlord can refund your 3,000 low-grade spirit stone deposit. You've actually only spent 6,000 low-grade spirit stones. This cost is very low, and it's perfect for you." Guo Fen nodded immediately, smiling broadly as he persuaded him. "Judging from your expression, you clearly want me to take over so you can get rid of it. The rent isn't actually that expensive, but you'd rather forego a month's deposit and transfer the business. Why is that? Tell me the truth. I don't want to be a sucker. If your explanation doesn't satisfy me, I won't take it." Lin Yi looked at Guo Fen and said seriously. The rent wasn't actually that expensive. He only needed to pay 9,000 low-grade spirit stones, which wasn't too high an initial investment and was within his budget. "This place is remote and very deserted. My shop has very few customers. If I sell at a low price, the profit is too low. It's like working for nothing. Selling at the normal price, My spirit wine is of average quality, with no advantage whatsoever. Business is bad, and the money I earn is barely enough to cover the rent. It's still just a waste of time. In that case, I might as well close down, Guo Fen said truthfully. If I rent your shop, with so few customers, wouldn't I be following in your footsteps? Lin Yi asked seriously. This, Guo Fen smiled awkwardly, speechless. This place is very deserted, with very few customers. Whoever opens a shop here is unlikely to have good business. It's not easy to make ends meet. There's a high probability of losing money. What kind of business are you planning to start? Guo Fen was stumped by the question and didn't know how to answer. Fortunately, he was thick-skinned and immediately changed the subject, asking Lin Yi. I'm planning to open a spirit medicine shop here, Lin Yi said seriously. Spirit medicine shops, there are already quite a few of those. This kind of business isn't easy, unless your spirit medicines are of very high quality, or you have a source for rare spirit medicines, then people won't come by reputation. Once the quality of the spirit medicines is average, and you don't have rare spirit medicines, it's hard to attract people, and business naturally won't be good. Guo Fen still had some conscience and spoke the truth. Hearing this, Lin Yi nodded slightly. In such a deserted place, you really need to have your own advantages. Otherwise, no one will come, and business can't be done. I plan to buy the medicinal herbs at a slightly higher price and then sell them at a slightly lower price. That way, I can successfully acquire and sell the herbs, although the profit margin will be slightly smaller, but with high volume and low profit margins, I should be able to earn some hard-earned money, Lin Yi said with a smile. He planned to use his price advantage to gain a foothold. Your thinking is far too simplistic. How much capital do you have to buy them at a slightly higher price? Do you think other herb shops are fools? They'll compete with you, buying them at even higher prices, and then you won't get any herbs. If you can lower the selling price, they'll lower it even further, and then you won't be able to sell your herbs. In less than half a month, you won't be able to hold on. You'll have to close down. Once you close down, they'll restore the original prices, continue doing business with you, and make money off you. You'll lose everything and have to start all over again from the bottom, Guo Fen said, his face full of sorrow and indignation. His tone was filled with bitterness and helplessness. You were really tricked like this? Lin Yi asked in surprise. He hadn't really thought about this. He assumed that as long as he bought the herbs at a slightly higher price than other herb shops, he could get them. And as long as he sold them at a slightly lower price than other shops, he could sell them quickly. He was certainly being naive. There was fierce competition among similar shops. How could they possibly stand idly by and watch you rise to power? Competitors would want nothing more than to destroy you. If you died, all the business would be theirs. This was especially true in a small place like Wangxian town. This situation was probably even more common there. That's right, I lower my price, and everyone else follows suit. Their shops are in bustling, prime locations, their spirit wine is slightly better quality than mine, and their prices are cheaper. How can I possibly make any business? Guo Fen looked aggrieved. Then why don't you lower your price even further? Lin Yi suggested. I've already lowered my price drastically before out of spite, but everyone else still followed suit. I've been selling for 2 days and I'm already losing money. I can't even cover the cost of the spirit wine, and I can't even afford the rent, Guo Fen said helplessly. You're losing money like this, and everyone else is lowering their prices too. Won't you lose money too? Lin Yi asked in surprise. Of course I'll lose money, but others can afford to lose money. I can't afford to. I simply can't keep going. I'll have to close down. Guo Fen shook his head and sighed. Seeing Guo Fen's face full of bitterness, helplessness, indignation, and grievance, Lin Yi couldn't help but feel sorry for him. It seems this business is really hard to do. The competition in the early stages is too fierce. It's basically burning money. If you don't have enough capital, you can't hold on for long. You'll lose everything and have to close down. Lin Yi sighed. Opening a shop and doing business is not as simple as he initially thought. There are too many tricks involved. The other shop owners are all too ruthless. This is simply a life or death struggle, a battle without visible swords or shadows. Holding his breath, he was determined to kill the other party. Are you still renting this shop? Guo Fen asked Lin Yi in a low voice. At this moment, he felt a pang of regret. This young man before him was so young, clearly inexperienced, and easily swayed by passion. If he hadn't said so much, if he had just given him a few empty words, perhaps Lin Yi would have impulsively taken the job. Unfortunately, after sharing so many painful lessons and painful experiences, the young man probably wouldn't fall for it. Chapter 36, Drastic Price Cuts. I was so confident, but your words are like a bucket of cold water. Lin Yi looked at Guo Fen, his face serious. If we rent it, the chances of losing money are just too high. He had many problems facing him. His plan was good. With a spirit herb shop, he could use it to generate income by selling rare spirit herbs matured in his immortal abode space, ensuring a steady stream of revenue without arousing suspicion. A win-win situation. But unfortunately, the competition among his peers was too fierce. Survival in the early stages would be difficult. If others targeted him and engaged in a price war, he wouldn't last long. The chances of failure were still high. Fortunately, he had his immortal abode space to mature rare spirit herbs. Rare spirit herbs were scarce. As long as he sells rare spiritual herbs, people will inevitably come to buy them. He can attract people. This is his trump card. He can then disguise himself as someone selling spiritual herbs and sell them to his own herb shop. In this way, he can legitimately acquire rare spiritual herbs without giving himself away. This is using a false identity to deliver rare spiritual herbs to his real identity, thus whitewashing his true identity. As for where the rare spiritual herbs for his false identity come from, or whether others will suspect them, that's unimportant. Because he might only use the same false identity once. After mastering the third-grade disguise technique, 1,000 faces, 10,000 disguises, he has achieved some success in changing his identity. This is completely effortless for him. My bad for being so talkative, Guo Fen said helplessly. Just when they thought they'd found someone to take over, they were about to run away again. Actually, I still want to try. Lin Yi looked at Guo Fen, his face serious. You're still planning to rent it? Guo Fen was surprised. This was completely unexpected. He'd already given up and wasn't going to try to persuade him anymore. How many times in life can you take a gamble? As a man, when you need to be tough, you have to be tough. Never back down. I'm going to take this gamble now. Lin Yi was fired up, full of fighting spirit. This shop, with such a cheap rent and a short lease term, was truly a great opportunity. He felt the chances of failure were very small. Even if he failed, he could certainly afford the cost of failure. Of course, for the sake of the future, he still needed to strive for success. This was the first step in his rise. Having the immortal abode space only allowed him to accelerate the growth of rare spiritual herbs. The key was how to safely and reliably convert these rare spiritual herbs into wealth. Opening a spiritual herb shop was the best way. Of course, he could also refine the spiritual herbs into elixirs and sell them, earning even more money. However, alchemy was a highly demanding skill and required guidance from a master. He could only successfully embark on this path after going to the Misty Sect and finding an alchemy master. For now, if he wanted to purchase offensive spells, armor, movement techniques, and spiritual swords, he could only do so by earning money through a spiritual herb shop. For him, this was an inevitable path. Young master, well said. Young people should have this kind of passion and enthusiasm. Guo Fen clapped repeatedly, strongly agreeing. However, passion is one thing, but reality must be considered. To be honest, I don't have much capital left, and your lease only has about 80 days left. I can't possibly give you 9,000 low-grade spirit stones. Lin Yi looked at Guo Fen and said decisively. His intention was to negotiate a lower price. Guo Fen's words were enough to show that the spirit wine business was very difficult and couldn't continue any longer. Every additional month of operation meant another month of loss. It was better to transfer the shop as soon as possible and stop the bleeding in time. Since he had grasped this weakness, he was determined to negotiate a lower price to minimize his own operating costs. How much can you offer? Guo Fen asked calmly. In these 80 days, I also need to change the signboard, clean the shop again, buy shelves, and purchase spirit herbs. Just these preparations alone will take many days. The actual time to sell spirit herbs and make money will probably only be about 2 months. In that case, I'll give you 2 months' rent, 6,000 low-grade spirit stones, Lin Yi said seriously, with reason and evidence. Hearing this, Guo Fen couldn't help but feel a pang of heartache. You're haggling way too much. You're only giving me 6,000 low-grade spirit stones, but I still have a month's rent deposited, which is 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. That'll be yours too. So, you only spent 3,000 low-grade spirit stones to open this spirit medicine shop. That's such a good deal, and I've been ripped off. It's such a loss. Guo Fen shook his head repeatedly. If you continue like this, you'll lose even more in 3 months, and you'll end up with nothing, but by doing it this way, you can still get 6,000 low-grade spirit stones. In these 3 months, if you do something else, you can earn 3 or 4,000 low-grade spirit stones. Adding that up, you can earn tens of thousands of low-grade spirit stones. If you transfer it to me, you can earn tens of thousands of low-grade spirit stones. If you don't, you'll suffer a huge loss, a complete loss. You should understand this calculation very well. Lin Yi smiled and helped analyze the situation. He firmly grasped Guo Fen's point of loss, which was Guo Fen's most fatal weakness. I give up. What you said is true. If I continue, I'll lose money hand over fist. In that case, I'll rent it to you. I admit defeat. Guo Fen nodded helplessly. Hearing this, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile. He had successfully acquired the property at a super low cost of 6,000 low-grade spirit stones. If the location didn't attract anyone and he lost money, he could simply move to another location and get back Guo Fen's 1-month deposit, plus another 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. So, even if he lost money, it would only be 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. He could afford to lose that amount. Most importantly, with such limited capital, he could easily compete with other shops. A pound of low-grade first-rank spiritual herbs, bought back for 5 low-grade spirit stones, could usually be sold for 8, or even 10, low-grade spirit stones per pound. He could buy them back for 5 low-grade spirit stones per pound and sell them for 6. He only needed to make a tiny profit. If other shops were too greedy, he would simply buy them back for 5 low-grade spirit stones and sell them for 5. He wouldn't make any money at all. At most, he would work for nothing, losing only 3,000 low-grade spirit stones in rent over 3 months. In the past 3 months, he has used this herb shop to sell rare spiritual herbs that have been accelerated within his immortal abode space, earning far more than 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. It's a guaranteed profit. For him, it's practically a risk-free business. He's completely unfazed by malicious competition from his rivals. Let's sign the transfer agreement right now, Guo Fen said enthusiastically with a smile. Wait a minute, please find the shop owner here. The 3 of us can sign an agreement together and discuss these matters thoroughly to avoid any potential problems. After all, the shop lease expires in 3 months. Whether I renew the lease or not, I'll need to find the shop owner to get my deposit back. In that case, why not find him now and discuss everything in advance? Lin Yi looked at Guo Fen and said seriously. Having learned from his impulsive lessons in the immortal mansion space, he now considers issues from a longer-term perspective. He doesn't just look at immediate benefits and advantages. He also considers potential hidden dangers and drawbacks as much as possible, and plans his escape route and countermeasures in advance. Chapter 37, Shi Fian. No problem, I'll summon the shop owner right away, Guo Fen immediately agreed. As soon as he finished speaking, he took out a purple communication talisman from his storage bag, activated it with his spiritual power, and whispered a few words into it. Then, he released his hand, and the purple communication talisman flew directly out of the spirit wine pavilion. Wait a moment, the shop owner lives in the market, very close by, and will be here soon. Guo Fen looked at Lin Yi and reassured him with a smile. Is the shop owner easy to talk to? The lease expires in 3 months. If I renew, will the rent increase? Lin Yi asked seriously. These were questions he needed to consider in advance. The owner of this shop is named Shi Fian, a beautiful female cultivator who looks to be in her 30s. It's said that she owns 30 shops in the market of Wangxian Town, and is an extremely wealthy landlady. I also heard that she's still single and unmarried. Whoever marries her will be incredibly lucky. They'll never have to worry about money for the rest of their lives, Guo Fen exclaimed in admiration as he spoke of Shi Fian. So rich, Lin Yi exclaimed in astonishment. Owning 30 shops, even in such a remote place like Lingjiu Pavilion, the monthly rent is 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Shops in other ordinary locations cost around 5,000 low-grade spirit stones per month. Shops in bustling and prosperous areas cost tens of thousands of low-grade spirit stones per month. Shi Fian owns 30 shops. Even in ordinary locations, that's 150,000 low-grade spirit stones in rent each month. That's 1.8 million low-grade spirit stones a year. Over 10 years, that's 18 million low-grade spirit stones. Just collecting rent, sleeping all day, doing absolutely nothing, and she'd be incredibly wealthy. It's truly enviable. In comparison, even with a treasure like the immortal abode space, He still has to cultivate diligently and work hard to earn money. The spiritual herbs he accelerates in the immortal abode space have to be sold carefully to avoid suspicion and trouble. There's simply no comparison between people. Shifian, she's beautiful, wealthy, and very easy to talk to. You can tell from the fact that she only charges a month's deposit. She's very honest. And honest in all her dealings. Meeting a shop owner like that is pure luck. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. If my business hadn't been so disastrous, losing so much money I couldn't continue, I wouldn't have parted ways with such an honest shop owner. Guo Fen smiled broadly, speaking highly of Shifian. Lin Yi nodded slightly. If that was truly the case, this Shifian was indeed quite good. Let me show you around the shop, Guo Fen offered. This shop isn't that big, you can see it all at a glance. Lin Yi looked around Ling Jiuxun and said with a smile. The shop, about 2 zang wide and 3 zang long, was an ordinary shop, neither too big nor too small. It was clearly sufficient for a spirit herb shop. He only needed to place a few medicine shelves, each with rows of wooden boxes, each containing a spirit herb, for customers to choose from. These were all samples. His own spirit herbs were undoubtedly stored in his storage ring. Customers would select the herbs and retrieve them from their storage rings. This shop has 2 floors. The lower floor is the shop, and the upper floor has 2 private rooms and a meditation room. I've also set up a second-grade spirit gathering array. I'll show you, Guo Fen said with a smile. Such a good thing. Lin Yi's face lit up with surprise. Immediately, he followed Guo Fen behind the screen and up the stairs to the second floor. Sure enough, there was a private room on the second floor for entertaining distinguished guests, and a meditation room. Lin Yi walked in and could feel the rich spiritual energy inside. How about I just transfer this grade 2 spirit gathering array to you as well? Guo Fen asked with a smile, seeing that Lin Yi was very satisfied with a meditation room. No need, I don't have that much money right now. Lin Yi quickly waved his hand. If he really rented this shop, he would definitely set up his grade 3 spirit gathering array in this meditation room. In that case, he could hire a helper to look after the herb shop on the first floor, while he cultivated in his meditation room on the second floor. If someone came to sell rare herbs, he would be responsible for receiving them and negotiating. Perfect. He could specifically handle the reception of distinguished guests selling rare herbs, then present his own rare herbs to the helper, telling him they were ones he had personally acquired, and let the helper sell them. He personally handled the acquisition of rare herbs, so even with a helper, the truth wouldn't be revealed. This arrangement allowed him to focus on cultivation, and in his spare time, while receiving customers selling rare herbs, he could also subtly mix the rare herbs he had cultivated in his immortal abode space into their shop. The herbal medicine shop would continue to generate a steady stream of income for him. It was a win-win-win situation. Simply perfect. He was now filled with anticipation for opening such a herbal medicine shop. Good days were beckoning him. If we can reach an agreement this time, I can get everything sorted out by tonight. This shop will soon be yours, Guo Fen assured him with a smile. I hope we can reach an agreement. Lin Yi nodded with a smile. As the two were talking, a woman's melodious voice came from the shop downstairs. Where's she? Coming right now, Guo Fen replied loudly. Immediately, he quickly called Lin Yi to come downstairs together. They went around the screen and entered the shop. Lin Yi saw a stunningly beautiful female cultivator, appearing to be around 30 years old, standing in the shop. She was alluring and seductive, with a slender and exquisite figure, dressed in a thin red veil, captivating and breathtaking. Miss Shi, you've come at the perfect time, Guo Fen greeted Shi Fian with a beaming smile. I'm preparing to transfer ownership of this Lingjiu pavilion, and I'd like you to be my witness. He then proceeded to explain Lin Yi's plan to sublet the shop. Shi Fian listened quietly. After Guo Fen finished speaking, Shi Fian finally looked at Lin Yi. Young master, feel free to sublet. Sister is very easy to talk to. If you don't want to renew the lease after 3 months, I'll refund 1 month's deposit. If you do want to renew, then we'll renew for another year at the current price. What do you think? Shi Fian looked at Lin Yi, her breath sweet as orchids, and smiled charmingly. No problem. Could we sign the sublease agreement now and include all of this in the sublease agreement? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Verbal agreements are meaningless. It's more reassuring to have everything written in the agreement. Sure, Shi Fian said decisively. Immediately, Guo Fen took out a pen, ink, and paper, and wrote 3 identical agreements. Then, Lin Yi, Guo Fen, and Shi Fian each wrote their names on the agreement. The sublease agreement was successfully completed. Here are your spirit stones. Lin Yi picked up his copy of the agreement, then took out 60 mid-grade spirit stones, put them in a blue cloth bag, and handed it to Guo Fen. I'll pack my things and leave now. Guo Fen put away the spirit stones, grinning from ear to ear. He was finally free. While Guo Fen was packing, Shi Fian carefully examined the handsome Lin Yi, her face showing curiosity and interest. Lin Yi, your name sounds familiar. Have we met somewhere before? Who are your parents? Shi Fian smiled charmingly and took the initiative to ask. Sister, you must have mistaken me for someone else. I have no parents. Uncle Fu found me and raised me. He died 3 years ago, and I've been living alone ever since. I've never seen you before, sister. Lin Yi shook his head calmly. Uncle Fu, you mean Fu Mankang from Misty Rain Alley. Uncle Fu, you're the child Uncle Fu raised. Shi Fian grabbed Lin Yi and bombarded him with questions. Her face was urgent, and her tone was tinged with excitement. Her fair and beautiful face was flushed, like a peach blossom, making it hard to look away. That's right, it's me, sister. Do you know Uncle Fu? Lin Yi looked at Shi Fian, his face full of surprise. How could Uncle Fu, who lived a life of poverty and was at the very bottom of society, have any connection with Shi Fian, who owned 30 shops? Chapter 38, The Immortal Medicine Pavilion. Faced with Lin Yi's curious and intense gaze, Shi Fian was momentarily startled, but quickly regained her composure. I don't know Uncle Fu. Shi Fian parted her lips slightly and shook her head decisively. Don't know him? Lin Yi was somewhat bewildered. If she didn't know him, why had Shi Fian grabbed his hand and asked him so excitedly just now? There was clearly something fishy going on. Seeing Lin Yi's suspicion, Shi Fian couldn't help but cover her mouth and chuckle. Little brother, don't overthink it. I don't know Uncle Fu personally, but my mother has told me about his deeds. When my mother was young, she fell into the river, and Uncle Fu jumped in and saved her. My grandfather offered Uncle Fu many rewards and support, but he refused them all. He insisted on remaining a humble spiritual plant grower. Later, my mother and grandfather went to him many times to repay his kindness, but he refused them all. Over time, our family gradually let it go. Later, we heard that Uncle Fu had found a child and was raising him himself. My mother went to ask Uncle Fu if she could help him, but he firmly refused again, telling us that even if he died, we shouldn't bother him. He didn't want you to become the kind of person who likes to rely on others. He hoped you could shoulder your own responsibilities, so we respected his wishes and didn't bother you anymore. Even after his death, we didn't disrupt your life. Shi Fian recounted the events in a melodious voice. Lin Han listened quietly, nodding silently. After hearing this, his admiration for Uncle Fu deepened. Uncle Fu was truly kind. He had saved Shi Fian's mother without asking for anything in return. He had found him on the roadside and raised him. What a good man. It's a pity that Uncle Fu passed away before he could come of age and fulfill his filial duties. He didn't even get to enjoy a single day of happiness. What a regret. Do you need help now? How about I waive your rent? Shi Fian looked at Lin Yi and asked with a smile. Thank you for your kindness, sister, but I want to be Uncle Fu's pride, and I don't want to be the kind of person who depends on others. Besides, it was Uncle Fu who saved people, and I have no face to enjoy the benefits of Uncle Fu's rescue. Let's stick to the original price, Lin Yi said decisively. At this moment, he understood even more clearly Uncle Fu's good intentions. It was because of Uncle Fu's discipline and influence on him from childhood that he was able to become the person he is today. Relying on himself, standing tall and living peacefully to this day. Even if there is no space in the immortal mansion, as long as he is not hindered by weak and strange diseases, with his spiritual root talent, magical talent, coupled with his diligence, hard work, perseverance, and character, he can live well on his own. These are all the credit of Fu Bo and the fruits of Fu Bo's cultivation. Since Uncle Fu didn't want him to accept such help, he would definitely comply with Uncle Fu's last wish. Say it again. There was no relationship between him and Shi Fian. If he accepted the favor, he would owe a favor. Favor debts are the hardest to repay. Shi Fian is not short of money. It will definitely be very difficult and harsh for him to return the favor in the future now. With the 36,000 low-grade spirit stones as a betrothal gift from his future mother-in-law, Mei Ziyu. Opening this spirit medicine shop shouldn't be a problem if he was frugal. He could succeed on his own, so why owe anyone a favor? As for the betrothal gift from Mei Ziyu, it couldn't be considered a favor. It was a gift he earned through his own abilities to marry into her family. Similarly, after marrying into the family, he would definitely be filial to Mei Ziyu in the future. As for Shi Fian, she was just someone with a slight connection to Uncle Fu. There was no need to deliberately try to climb the social ladder, lest he be looked down upon. As you wish, however, it's quite a coincidence that we met here today. You run a spirit medicine shop, and I have some connections in the spirit medicine field. If you need anything, feel free to contact me anytime, and I'll do my best to satisfy you. Shi Fian smiled sweetly. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't press her too much about her relationship with Uncle Fu, she breathed a sigh of relief. Young people are more innocent. A few cheerful words can easily smooth things over. Thank you for your concern, sister. I'll contact you again when I need anything. Lin Yi smiled. Although he wasn't using this relationship now, having such a wealthy female cultivator willing to help him at any time certainly gave him more confidence. At this moment, Guo Fen came down from the second floor. Lin Yi, I'm all packed up. I've also put away the grade 2 spirit gathering array in the meditation room on the second floor. From now on, this shop is entirely yours. Guo Fen greeted him with a smile. He then exchanged a few pleasantries with Lin Yi before leaving with a broad smile. Lin Yi, this is a communication talisman with my divine consciousness imprint on it. Please keep it safe. If you encounter any trouble, you can use this communication talisman to summon me. Shi Fian took out 2 purple communication talismans from her storage bag, handed them to Lin Yi, and instructed him with a smile. Then, she moved gracefully, her figure alluring and enchanting, and walked out of the spirit wine pavilion. Lin Yi stood in front of the shop, watching Shi Fian's alluring figure disappear into the distance, quietly admiring her. He knew he wouldn't see her again for another 3 months, when the shop lease was renewed. Such a rare beauty was truly a sight to behold. Only when Shi Fian's figure completely vanished at the end of the street did Lin Yi come back to his senses. Successfully rented the shop, first goal accomplished, Lin Yi surveyed the shop, a radiant smile spreading across his face. This would be the first step on his path to rise. With his herb shop, he could smoothly sell the rare spiritual herbs cultivated within his immortal abode space, ensuring a continuous stream of income. Becoming wealthy was just around the corner. Cultivation is all about money. With money, you can advance at breakneck speed, breaking through to the transcendent realm, even the golden core realm, and the spirit embryo realm. Without money, you'll toil your whole life, stuck at the spirit gathering realm, turning into dust after 100 years, returning to ashes. Making money while you're young is the right path. Next step is to open this spirit medicine shop. Lin Yi was full of fighting spirit. Immediately, he closed the shop door and went to the market. Soon, he bought a copper lock, a set of shop defense and attack restrictions, a counter, 5 medicine shelves, and a large number of purple medicine boxes. In addition, he purchased 2 odor-absorbing stones to absorb the strong aroma of spirit wine permeating the shop. He also went to a craftsman to have a shop sign made. Back at the shop, Lin Yi immediately took down the spirit wine pavilion sign and hung up a new one inscribed with the 3 large characters Immortal Medicine Pavilion. Instantly, the shop felt completely transformed. It had changed from a spirit wine shop to a spirit medicine shop. Immortal Medicine Pavilion. Lin Yi looked at the name he had personally chosen for the shop, very satisfied. It contained his ambition. With the immortal abode space, perhaps one day he could truly cultivate immortal medicine. Chapter 39, Opening for Business. Under Lin Yi's meticulous tidying up, by evening, the entire shop had been rearranged, with the counters and medicine shelves all in perfect order. He had also successfully set up the second-grade shop defense and offense barrier, which he had purchased for 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Within this market, protected by a large-scale barrier, cultivators could not fly. The maximum spiritual power they could use was limited to the 10th level of the spirit gathering realm. Even golden core realm cultivators could only use this much spiritual power within the market, their combat strength completely restricted. This prevented anyone from causing trouble in the market. A set of second-grade defense and offense barriers was sufficient to deal with anyone who wanted to cause trouble. Moreover, the market also had a dedicated law enforcement hall with patrolling law enforcement teams, so it was rare to see anyone causing trouble on ordinary days. Using force here simply won't work. Setting up a protective barrier is mainly to guard against petty thieves and prevent the theft of the spirit medicine samples stored in the shop. It looks quite impressive. Lin Yi smiled. extremely satisfied, as he looked at the tidied-up first-floor shop. He then went to the second floor to tidy up. In the second-floor private room, he bought a new purple wooden table, 5 wooden stools, a purple clay teapot, and 5 purple clay cups to entertain distinguished guests selling rare spirit medicines. In the meditation room, he directly replaced the dismantled Grade 3 spirit gathering array with a new one. 3 months' rent only cost 6,000 low-grade spirit stones, a very low cost. The miscellaneous items needed for the shop only cost him about 3,000 low-grade spirit stones. Of the 36,000 low-grade spirit stones Misty Sect gave him, he still had 27,000. Setting up a Grade 3 spirit gathering array here makes perfect sense, Lin Yi said with a smile. Even including the 6,000 low-grade spirit stones spent on this second-hand Grade 3 spirit gathering array, in other people's eyes, he still had 21,000 low-grade spirit stones left. This money was enough to use as capital for purchasing spirit herbs. After all, he was both buying and selling spirit herbs. Spirit stones were constantly flowing in and out. No one knew exactly how many spirit herbs he had bought or sold. No one knew how much money he had made. That was the advantage of opening a shop. No one could possibly know it. It was perfect for laundering the income from the immortal abode space. Everything is almost ready, we can officially open for business tomorrow, Lin Yi smiled broadly. Immediately, he closed the shop and returned to his meditation room on the second floor to begin his cultivation. He cultivated diligently all night. The next morning, Lin Yi awoke from his meditation, his eyes filled with joy. His cultivation had progressed remarkably well that night. At this rate, he could advance to the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm in about 5 days. With another 10 days of diligent cultivation, he could advance to the 7th level. There were still about 65 days until the Misty Sect's assessment. That was more than enough time. He wasn't worried about his cultivation level at all. He was certain he would qualify for the sect entrance assessment. The key to successfully joining the Misty Sect was to perform exceptionally well and rank high during the assessment. This was his weakness. He had always been a low-level spirit plant grower, and all his skills were related to farming. He had absolutely no experience in combat, and his level was abysmal. Even with the same 7th level of the spirit gathering realm cultivation, if he participated directly in the assessment, his combat strength would likely be at the bottom. In that case, he would simply be a participant without any real progress. His hopes of joining the Misty Sect would be extremely slim. Next, he had to rely on the Immortal Medicine Pavilion to earn money to buy offensive techniques, movement methods, spirit swords, and armor that could enhance his combat power, doing his best to improve his strength. First, all rain down on the jade dew fruit. Lin Yi calculated the time, more than a day had passed. Considering that the time flow in the immortal abode was 7 times faster than outside, about 10 days had passed inside. Immediately, he moved his divine sense and entered the immortal abode. Moo. Inside the immortal abode, A-Qing saw Lin Yi appear and immediately wagged its tail happily, rushing forward. Full of enthusiasm, it buried its head in Lin Yi's arms, rubbing against him affectionately. A-Qing. Lin Yi patted A-Qing's forehead and greeted it with a smile. 2 short horns grew on either side of A-Qing's forehead, making it look like a calf, far from adulthood. It seemed that A-Qing would need hundreds of years to reach adulthood and become a powerful spirit beast. This was definitely a rare spirit beast with an extremely rare bloodline. He really wanted to know how strong A-Qing would be after reaching adulthood. It was said that many powerful cultivators had their own personal spirit beasts to protect them and aid in battle. Did A-Qing also have the potential to become a fighting spirit beast? Of course. It was still a long way from adulthood and becoming powerful. The flow of time in the immortal abode was 7 times faster than outside. Now, the immortal abode's limits were also being increased. From now on, A-Qing can live in the immortal abode space for a long time, so it can grow faster. A-Qing, I should reign on the spirit fields, Lin Yi said with a smile after a brief moment of warmth with A-Qing. In this immortal abode space, a short delay translates to 2 or 3/4 of an hour outside. He still had to open for business today and couldn't linger too long. Immediately, Lin Yi walked to the 2 acres of first-grade medium-level spirit fields and used the True Truth Realm Rain technique to rain on the 2 acres of jade dew fruits. Now, these jade dew fruits had all grown to about 6 inches tall, lush and green, growing very well. Unfortunately, 2 acres of spirit fields are still too little, Lin Yi said with dissatisfaction. With such a large immortal medicine pavilion, He couldn't possibly only sell the rare and precious jade dew fruit. Once this batch of jade dew fruit matured, he would have to change his planting strategy. He would plant many kinds of rare and precious medicinal herbs in these 2 acres of spiritual fields. At that time, these 2 acres of spiritual fields would obviously not be enough. Now I can legitimately set up a grade 3 spirit gathering array. After that, I must cultivate diligently and reach the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm as soon as possible. Lin Yi decisively made up his mind. Upon reaching the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, his immortal abode space would also advance once. The 2 acres of spiritual fields would become even larger. The advantage of double time would also increase accordingly. If nothing unexpected happens, at the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, the time flow rate in the immortal abode space would be 8 times that outside. This would be very beneficial for accelerating the ripening of medicinal herbs. Clearly, the more time he doubled, the faster the medicinal herbs matured, and the more money he made. A-Qing, I'm going out. I'll come back to keep you company when I'm done, or I'll let you out after the shop closes tonight. Lin Yi smiled and bid farewell to A-Qing. Then with a thought, he left the immortal mansion. After washing up and changing into clean clothes, Lin Yi used his Thousand Faces ability to change his appearance, transforming into a young man. Then, he went to the market to check the price lists of other medicinal herb shops. Fortunately, he had a good memory. After leaving one shop, he quickly wrote down the prices of common low-grade and mid-grade first-class medicinal herbs. He also memorized the rarer, lower-grade first-rank spiritual herbs and the middle-grade first-rank spiritual herbs. Afterward, he continued to visit other spiritual herb shops, checking the price lists. He spent the entire morning visiting all 5 other spiritual herb shops in the market, noting down their price lists and comparing them. Basically, the prices these 5 shops paid for spiritual herbs were very similar, and their selling prices were also roughly the same. Knowing your enemy is half the battle. Having understood the details of these competitors, Lin Yi felt more confident and assured about opening the Immortal Medicine Pavilion. Open for business. Back at the Immortal Medicine Pavilion, Lin Yi changed back to his original appearance, donned a clean and simple blue robe, and sat behind the counter to officially begin business. Chapter 40, Zhao Si comes to the door. Lin Yi was overjoyed and full of anticipation. He sat calmly at the counter, waiting for the first customer. Soon, his burning enthusiasm cooled. He sat in the shop, waiting for a full hour, but not a single customer came in. There was no way around it. This street was simply too remote and deserted. And his Immortal Medicine Pavilion, located at the end of the street, was even more remote and deserted. No wonder Guofen was so eager to transfer the shop to me. He looked at me like I was his savior, Lin Yi said with deep feeling. Opening a shop here was truly difficult. Even the best wine needs advertising. Lin Yi had a much deeper understanding of this saying now. He possessed a celestial abode space, capable of accelerating the growth of rare spiritual herbs and selling herbs scarce in other herb shops, thus satisfying the needs of many cultivators. However, since people were unaware of his Immortal Herb Pavilion's opening and his ability to sell rare spiritual herbs, they naturally wouldn't come. I thought that if just 3 or 5 customers came in, I could buy herbs at high prices and sell them at low prices, and those customers would help spread the word. In this way, word would spread quickly, and the Immortal Herb Pavilion's reputation would soon be established. Unfortunately, the gap between imagination and reality is too great. Even 3 or 5 customers have become a luxury. Not a single customer has come. Lin Yi shook his head repeatedly. Knowing is easy, doing is hard. He hadn't felt much for this saying before. Now, after experiencing it firsthand, he fully understood. Knowing and doing are worlds apart. Everyone understands the principle, but how many can actually put it into practice? I have to take the initiative. I can't just sit here and wait to die. Lin Yi decisively stood up. If he continued to wait foolishly, he might not even get a customer by tomorrow. He walked out of the Immortal Medicine Pavilion and onto the shop. Looking around, he saw only a few scattered customers on the street, most of whom were drawn to the shops further back. The further back the shop was, the fewer customers it attracted. His Immortal Medicine Pavilion, at the end of the street, had absolutely no customers. You really do need money. If you could afford a shop on a bustling, busy street, you'd have a lot of customers coming in right away, making things much easier. Lin Yi looked at the shop at the very front, with customers constantly going in, and couldn't help but feel envious. Renting this corner at the very end meant no customers came. He had to actively solicit business. New shop opening. Come and see. Come and check it out. Lin Yi focused his energy, looking at the scattered cultivators walking on the street, and shouted loudly. At first, he was a little reserved and hesitant. But thinking that without business, all his hard work would be wasted, and all the money he'd spent would go down the drain, he gritted his teeth and continued shouting. Humans are very adaptable. After shouting several times, he gradually grew thick-skinned and began to shout loudly, "The Immortal Medicine Pavilion is open for business. We buy spiritual herbs at high prices, don't miss out," Lin Yi shouted repeatedly. And sure enough, after he shouted for a while, until his voice was hoarse and exhausted, a dark-skinned, lean spiritual herb grower actually walked over. "Yo, fourth uncle, selling spiritual herbs? I'll buy them at high prices." Lin Yi saw that the person was Zhao Si, who also lived in Misty Rain Alley. He had run into him before when paying the rent for his spiritual fields. "My God, who did I think it was? Lin Yi, it's you, kid. You actually opened a shop." Zhao Si walked to the entrance of the Immortal Medicine Pavilion, looked at Lin Yi and the not-too-big-to-small spirit medicine shop, and couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. "That's right, as you know, Uncle Si, I couldn't rent any land, so I had no source of income and had to find a way to open a shop and do business," Lin Yi said with a smile. "What are you saying? Renting 3 acres of spirit fields only costs 1,200 low-grade spirit stones. The cost of opening a shop is lower than the rent for spirit fields. Where did you get the money? Did you strike it rich? You look rosy-cheeked, full of yang energy, and your weakness and strange illness have all disappeared. Kid, did you have some kind of extraordinary encounter?" Zhao Si scrutinized Lin Yi repeatedly, his face full of suspicion. Lin Yi's current situation was far beyond his expectations. In his view, Lin Yi was probably starving to death. Unexpectedly, in less than a month, Lin Yi had transformed into the owner of a spirit medicine shop. The difference before and after was too great. One couldn't help but wonder if this kid had struck it rich and obtained a rare opportunity. "Fourth uncle, you're joking. I've been in Wangxian town the whole time. I haven't gone out. Where would I get a fortuitous encounter?" Lin Yi retorted with a smile. "But how come you're rich now?" Zhao Si's dark face was filled with doubt. "To tell you the truth, Uncle Fu has a distant niece, Mei Ziyu from Fulin Lane. She's a widow with a daughter, Mo Ziadang, who's about my age. Aunt Mei has taken me in as her son-in-law. She gave me a dowry of 36,000 low-grade spirit stones. The day after tomorrow, I'm going to hold an engagement banquet with Mo Ziadang. You just haven't heard the news yet." Lin Yi smiled and explained in detail. Sure enough, anyone who knew his past had doubts about his current situation. Fortunately, Mei Ziyu and Mo Ziadang proposed to him and gave him a high dowry, which gave him a shield. Otherwise, he would have been speechless. "I know Mei Ziyu. I even had several outfits made at her tailor shop. I never thought you'd have such good luck with women and be chosen by Mei Ziyu as her live-in son-in-law." Zhao Si smacked his lips and exclaimed in admiration. "Aunt Mei's family has 5 acres of spirit fields, but she's too busy running her tailor shop to manage them. As for me, I'm quite talented in farming. As you know, fourth uncle, I can cultivate these 5 acres of spirit fields very well, and the profits are very high. Plus, with Uncle Fu's connection, Aunt Mei chose me," Lin Yi said with a smile. This explanation was completely reasonable. Indeed, if you were to take in a son-in-law, someone like you, with no parents, reliable character, handsome appearance, and outstanding talent in farming, would indeed be an excellent candidate. However, your strange illness is a hidden danger. How did you cure this strange illness?" Zhao Si asked curiously. "My strange weakness is actually just due to insufficient vital energy," Lin Yi smiled slightly and said casually. "Since I couldn't rent any spirit fields, I used my money to buy a second-hand grade 2 spirit gathering array. After cultivating to the 3rd level of the spirit gathering realm, I found that my weakness symptoms were greatly reduced. After cultivating to the 4th level of the spirit gathering realm, the strange weakness completely disappeared. You've really turned your luck around. You're about to soar to the sky. You've climbed onto Mei Ziyu's high branch, received a high dowry, owned 5 acres of spirit fields, and opened a spirit medicine shop. From now on, no one can stop you from getting rich." Zhao Si looked at Lin Yi with envy. Appearances can be deceiving. Previously, in the most remote and secluded Yanyu Alley, Lin Yi belonged to the lowest rung of society. Everyone kept their distance from him, and no one wanted to approach him, fearing he would borrow money. But now, Lin Yi was about to rise to prominence. Lin Yi, when you rented the land before, your fourth uncle also had to pay his tribute, and he didn't have any spare money, so he couldn't lend you any. Please don't take offense. Zhao Si immediately smiled and apologized. Fourth uncle, what are you saying? I know you're having a hard time. It's actually a good thing that no one is lending me money. If I had rented a spirit field back then, I would just be farming and barely making a living. I wouldn't have gambled everything on buying a second-hand second-grade spirit gathering array, and I wouldn't have advanced to the third level of the spirit gathering realm so quickly, discovering that my weakness and strange illness could disappear. With this weakness and strange illness holding me back, Aunt May probably wouldn't have looked down on me and wouldn't have taken me in as a son-in-law. It seems like everything is predestined. Looking back, if you had lent me spirit stones, it would have actually harmed me, Lin Yi said with a smile. It's so good that you think that way, Zhao Si chuckled, relieved. Fourth uncle, do you still have any spirit herbs you can sell to me? I'll buy them at a high price. Having dispelled Zhao Si's doubts, Lin Yi asked with a smile. Once Zhao Si knew how he rose to power, everyone in Misty Rain Alley, and even the entire forgotten immortal town, would know how he rose to prominence. His disappearance of his strange illness would be perfectly reasonable. It was common knowledge that Mei Ziao had taken him in as her son-in-law, giving him a hefty dowry of 36,000 low-grade spirit stones. In this way, no one would suspect he had any extraordinary encounters. He could then properly manage the immortal medicine pavilion and make a steady stream of money. Zhao Si was his first customer. A good start is half the battle. He definitely had to seize this opportunity. Chapter 41 Attracting Customers. I do have some spiritual herbs, Zhao Si said earnestly, his dark face showing. Then, he chuckled sheepishly, becoming somewhat embarrassed. However, the quantity is small. As you know, my planting skills are average. My family's 5 mu of spiritual fields are mainly planted with spiritual grains to ensure a stable income. I only scattered some low-grade first-rank spiritual herbs in the herb garden in the courtyard, and some low-grade first-rank aquatic spiritual herbs in the fish pond. I also have 2 golden elm trees in my yard, so I can harvest some golden elm leaves, Zhao Si said with a shameful expression. He had always been hesitant to take risks in spiritual herb cultivation, only doing small, piecemeal work to earn a little money. With such a small amount of spiritual herbs, he had to meticulously examine the prices at 5 different shops in the market, analyzing trends to determine the best place and time to sell them for maximum profit. Despite all this calculation and careful planning, he remained at the very bottom of society after so many years. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was bold and decisive, advancing rapidly and poised to soar to great heights. The difference between people was truly incomparable. Fourth uncle, I never imagined you could utilize such a small courtyard to this extent, Lin Yi exclaimed with a smile, looking at Zhao Si. He had cultivated a medicinal garden in the courtyard, planting spiritual herbs. He had also planted aquatic spiritual herbs in the fish pond. 2 golden elm trees were also growing there. This small courtyard had been fully utilized, generating a considerable income each year. This method is truly excellent. He should learn from it. Now, the capacity of his immortal abode is even higher. When he returns, he'll dig a fish pond in his immortal abode to raise spirit fish and shrimp, and also cultivate aquatic spirit herbs and medicines. Furthermore, he can plant some spirit trees in the fields of his immortal abode, which will occasionally bear spirit fruits. He can consume them to improve his cultivation, or sell them at the immortal medicine pavilion. Once his cultivation reaches the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, the capacity of his immortal abode can be further increased. At that time, he can consider raising spirit beasts and spirit insects in his immortal abode, which would be another highly profitable source of income. Looking at Zhao Si, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile broadly. Among 3 people walking together, there must be one who can teach me. From Zhao Si, he learned another trick. This was very useful to him. Fourth uncle, just sell me the spiritual herbs. The price I'll give you is definitely higher than your other spiritual herb shops. If you can help me spread the word about opening the shop and attract some customers, I'll buy your spiritual herbs at this price from now on, Lin Yi assured him with a smile. What price can you offer for this golden thread grass? Zhao Si asked immediately. He had 50 golden thread grass plants, but because they were easy to grow, many people were cultivating them, and the price had never gone up. He had been observing for many days but hadn't been willing to sell. He wanted to see if Lin Yi was sincere. If Lin Yi's price is reasonable, he will sell all the golden thread grass to Lin Yi. He can also sell the other spiritual herbs he has stockpiled to Lin Yi. Golden thread grass. A first-grade low-level spiritual herb, is an auxiliary ingredient used in the refining of first-grade spirit-nourishing pills. About 800 plants can be planted per acre, with a maturation cycle of about 4 months. The cost of the seeds is about 200 low-grade spirit stones, and each plant usually sells for about 2 low-grade spirit stones. 800 plants would cost 1,600 low-grade spirit stones. After deducting the cost of the seeds, 200 low-grade spirit stones, and expenses such as tribute grain and spiritual fertilizer, you can easily make a net profit of 1,000 low-grade spirit stones per acre. Compared to planting spirit grains, the profit is significantly higher. Lin Yi listed the profits of golden thread grass in great detail. This golden thread grass is alright if planted sporadically. I can manage it. I tried planting it on a large scale before, planting 1 acre, but unfortunately there were too many pests. I had to constantly kill them, which was incredibly difficult. The yield was indeed higher than planting Spirit Valley, but it was too hard work. Later, I started planting it sporadically in the herb garden in the courtyard. The pests were very minor, and I could easily solve the problem. Zhao Si shook his head helplessly. Planting spiritual herbs is generally much more difficult and riskier than planting Spirit Valley. At any time, risk and reward coexist. The lower the risk, the lower the reward, the higher the risk, the higher the reward, Lin Yi said with a smile. Furthermore, if one's planting skills are high, even planting Spirit Valley can yield quite good results. When he was cultivating spirit grains, others yielded 800 jin per mu, while his yielded 1,200 jin per mu. Furthermore, his spirit grains were of better quality, and their selling price was higher. He often earned 500 to 600 more low-grade spirit stones per mu than others. He rented 3 mu of spirit fields, which would have earned him 1,500 more low-grade spirit stones than others with 3 mu of spirit fields. Unfortunately, he was previously plagued by a strange, weakening illness, requiring frequent medication to nourish his body, incurring significant expenses, and he could barely survive. If it weren't for this illness, even with expensive rent, he could have lived a very comfortable life. I'm too old for that, Zhao Si said contentedly. Just relying on this little courtyard to earn some extra income is not bad. Uncle C is right, Lin Yi nodded in agreement. Everyone has their own way of living. This can't be forced. Lin Yi, what price can you offer for my golden thread grass? Zhao Si looked at Lin Yi expectantly. Uncle C, these 50 golden thread grass plants would only sell for about 100 low-grade spirit stones and other spirit medicine shops. I'll give you 120 low-grade spirit stones directly. What do you think? Lin Yi smiled. Golden thread grass is a common low-grade first-grade spirit medicine, with low profit margins. Generally speaking, 50 golden thread grass plants would cost 100 low-grade spirit stones to buy and 150 low-grade spirit stones to sell, resulting in a profit of only 15 low-grade spirit stones. For him, buying them for 120 low-grade spirit stones and selling them at a lower price than other shops, he could get around 140 low-grade spirit stones, earning him a profit of 20 low-grade spirit stones. Of course, as long as there's a profit, that's fine. His shop rent is so low that as long as the money from selling the purchased spirit herbs each month covers the rent, he's satisfied. His main source of income comes from selling the rare spirit herbs that he hastily cultivated in his immortal abode space through this immortal medicine pavilion. The profits from these rare spirit herbs are the main source of income. Of course I agree, the price you're offering is higher than other shops. Zhao Si smiled broadly and nodded eagerly. Fourth uncle, do you have any other spiritual herbs? Sell them all to me. Lin Yi pressed his advantage. Okay, I also have 40 heart-eating orchids, 20 green grasses, and 5 caddies of golden silk elm leaves. Zhao Si took out all the spiritual herbs he had stored in his stored ring. 40 heart-eating orchids, I'll give you 150 low-grade spirit stones, 20 green grasses, I'll give you 60 low-grade spirit stones, 5 caddies of golden silk elm leaves, at 14 low-grade spirit stones per caddy, I'll give you 70 low-grade spirit stones. What do you think? Lin Yi looked at Zhao Si and asked with a smile. No problem, I'll sell them all to you. Zhao Si grinned from ear to ear, nodding repeatedly. Lin Yi had offered a higher price for each type of spiritual herb than other spiritual herb shops. These will total 400 low-grade spirit stones. Lin Yi took out 4 exquisitely crafted mid-grade spirit stones, each about the size of a thumb, from his stored ring and handed them to Zhao Si. He was just as overjoyed as Zhao. The quantity of spiritual herbs they purchased this time wasn't large, but it was of extraordinary significance. The Immortal Herb Pavilion had just opened and already had business. The first customer to come in sold him 4 types of spiritual herbs. This was a fantastic start. Fourth uncle, could you spread the word about my new shop and tell everyone about my recent situation? Afterwards, whenever a customer enters the Immortal Medicine Pavilion and says they were referred by you, I'll give you 5 low-grade spirit stones per customer. What do you think? Lin Yi looked at Zhao and smiled as he discussed. He offered high prices for spirit herbs, making it difficult for others to refuse. As long as customers came, he had a high chance of receiving spirit herbs. Doing this himself would be a poor choice, like a self-promoting vendor. Having a customer like Zhao help him attract customers would undoubtedly be much more effective. For a small fee, he could hire Zhao to do his work, and with excellent results. Why not? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42, The Illusion of Popularity. As expected, not long after Zhao left, a customer arrived. This cultivator was also a low-level spirit plant grower in Misty Rain Alley, and Lin Yi recognized him. Lin Yi, I'm Fan Li, introduced by Zhao. He said you're related to him, and he always offers high prices for those he introduces. The middle-aged spirit plant grower named Fan Li entered the Immortal Medicine Pavilion, proactively introducing himself as Zhao, and said with a smile, "That's right, my fourth uncle and I are related. My new shop has just opened, and I need to purchase a large quantity of spirit herbs. Since you were introduced by him, I'll definitely give you a high price." Lin Yi reacted quickly, going along with the offer. Hearing this, Fan Li couldn't help but smile broadly. He immediately took out 5 kinds of low-grade first-rank spiritual herbs from his stored ring. However, they were all common spiritual herbs, and the quantity was not large, about 50 of each kind. Lin Yi's price was higher than that of other shops. He paid a total of 700 low-grade spirit stones for 250 spiritual herbs. He secretly calculated the price himself. By selling them at a lower price than other shops, he could probably earn 150 low-grade spirit stones. Actually, the profit was not bad. He bought 4 kinds of spiritual herbs from Zhao, spending 400 low-grade spirit stones, and could also earn about 100 low-grade spirit stones. With these 2 customers coming in, he bought the spiritual herbs at a high price and sold them at a low price, which together would earn him 250 low-grade spirit stones. Watching Fan Li leave with a satisfied expression, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile brightly. If things continue like this, I'm guaranteed to make a profit, even without relying on rare spiritual herbs. The profits from this Immortal Medicine Pavilion itself are considerable. Lin Yi beamed. Opening a shop, after taking the first step, didn't seem as difficult as he'd imagined. Soon, after Fan Li left, customers began to arrive. These were all recruited by Zhao. These lower-level spiritual plant growers mainly cultivated spiritual grains, with only a few scattered low-grade first-rank spiritual herbs, in small quantities. But Lin Yi didn't care at all. Little by little, it would accumulate. As long as he had enough customers, he could acquire a large quantity of spiritual herbs. Most importantly, in the early stages, these customers were all very valuable. He also relied on them to spread the word and attract more customers. As time passed, this once quiet and secluded street gradually became bustling. Cultivators frequently entered Lin Yi's Immortal Herb Pavilion, and Lin Yi couldn't entertain them all alone, leading to a growing number of customers. This phenomenon of customers crowding the market aroused the curiosity of other cultivators strolling around, who came to watch. Upon learning that Lin Yi was buying spiritual herbs at high prices and selling them at low prices, they were all filled with excitement. Cultivators who had stockpiled spiritual herbs sold them directly to Lin Yi. Those without herbs but needing to buy some would conveniently purchase them from Lin Yi. The prices were indeed lower and more cost-effective than other spiritual herb shops. This news spread like wildfire. The Immortal Herb Pavilion's reputation was established on the very first day. As darkness fell, Lin Yi activated the second-grade restriction within the shop. The contained luminous restriction caused the entire shop to radiate a bright light, becoming brightly lit. Customers came one after another to sell and buy spiritual herbs. Even though Lin Yi was becoming increasingly proficient at this, he was still extremely busy. He worked until midnight before everyone finally left. Phew, Lin Yi took a deep breath, closed the shop door, and returned to his meditation room on the second floor. After a busy day, his mouth was dry, and he felt 10 times more tired than when he was farming. He was utterly exhausted, both physically and mentally. Lin Yi sat cross-legged on a futon, activating his third grade 5 elements cultivation technique to recover. About half an hour later, he opened his eyes, feeling mostly recovered. "Let's tally up the profits," Lin Yi said expectantly. Immediately, he took out his ledger and began to settle the accounts. He had only started business in the afternoon, but he had still served over 100 customers that day. Among them, 81 customers had sold him spirit herbs. He had spent 26,000 low-grade spirit stones to acquire these herbs. 43 customers came to buy spirit herbs, and he sold them for 9,000 low-grade spirit stones. The cost of those herbs was approximately 7,000 low-grade spirit stones. In other words, just considering today's net profit, he actually earned 2,000 low-grade spirit stones. So much in one day, Lin Yi exclaimed in astonishment. This was far better than he had expected. He had originally thought that the Immortal Medicine Pavilion only needed to break even. He hadn't expected it to be so profitable. 2,000 low-grade spirit stones net profit in one day. If he could do this every day, wouldn't he be earning 60,000 low-grade spirit stones a month? Just thinking about it was insane. Of course, wanting to do this every day was unrealistic. After all, the 81 customers who came to sell their spirit herbs today almost all sold him their entire stockpile. After that, they ran out of spirit herbs and naturally didn't come back. Too much at the beginning makes it hard to sustain, Lin Yi shook his head and sighed. Furthermore, he spent 26,000 low-grade spirit stones to acquire spirit herbs. He only actually sold the 7,000 spirit stones worth of those herbs, netting a profit of 2,000 low-grade spirit stones. But the 19,000 spirit herbs he bought were still stuck in his inventory. He had to sell them as soon as possible. He didn't have much money right now, and he couldn't afford to stockpile so many spiritual herbs here. If things continued like this tomorrow, he'd have even more herbs in stock, but no money left. By the third day, when people came to sell spiritual herbs again, he wouldn't have the money to buy them. "I still don't have enough capital. If I had enough capital, I could operate this way, buying high and selling low, making small profits but quick turnover. It would be very profitable. Plus, with the immortal space to accelerate the growth of rare spiritual herbs, I could mix them in and sell them. I'd be making a fortune," Lin Yi sighed. Today was an excellent start. The next 2 days were the real key. As long as he could get through the first 3 days smoothly, he could rely on the Immortal Herb Pavilion to make a steady stream of money. The customers who came this evening seemed a bit odd. They all flocked here to sell their medicinal herbs at high prices, but very few bought them from me at low prices. Could it be that other medicinal herb shops are deliberately messing with me? Lin Yi looked suspicious. His business model did indeed have a fatal flaw, buying medicinal herbs at high prices and selling them at low prices. He bought them at higher prices than other shops, and sold them at lower prices. This way, if other medicinal herb shops wanted to take advantage of him, they only needed to bring him a batch of herbs and sell them to him at a high price, thus depleting his capital. However, when he sold at low prices, others followed suit. Not many people came to buy his medicinal herbs, and he couldn't sell his stock. If this continues for a few days, he'll definitely have to close down. Is the booming business from the start a real thing, or is it just an illusion to deceive me? Lin Yi became somewhat uneasy. Chapter 43, Hiding an Ox in a Golden House. Humans are strange like that. Once a thought takes root in your mind, it's hard to shake off. He became increasingly certain of his suspicion. Check the status of the stagnant spiritual herbs. Realizing the key point, Lin Yi immediately took out all the spiritual herbs he had acquired that day from his storage ring and examined them one by one. Sure enough, his suspicion was correct. Of the 19,000 low-grade spirit stones he had acquired, 3,000 were low-grade golden thread grass, and 4,000 were low-grade pitmud grass. These two kinds of low-grade first-rank spiritual herbs were very common, with low profit margins and generally low sales volume. Others would buy 50 golden threadgrass plants for only 100 low-grade spirit stones. He bought 50 golden threadgrass stalks at a higher price, costing 120 low-grade spirit stones. Thus, If someone else bought the same golden thread grass for 100 low-grade spirit stones and sold it to him for 120, they would not only make a small profit but also deplete his capital. Then, he sold the 50 golden thread grass stalks for 140 low-grade spirit stones, which should have yielded a small profit. However, someone else who bought the same golden thread grass for 100 low-grade spirit stones could sell it for 130, even cheaper than him, making a much larger profit. They could even sell it for 120 low-grade spirit stones and still make a small profit. But he, selling for less than 120 low-grade spirit stones, was guaranteed to lose money. This method is too easy to counter, Lin Yi said with a serious expression. His costs were higher, but his selling price was lower. In a price war, he was no match and couldn't afford to lose. I thought it was a brilliant idea, now it seems it was just a rash, impulsive decision. Lin Yi shook his head and sighed. This was the price of youth. Lack of experience leads to losses. A method devised on a whim can easily be full of flaws and collapse at the first blow. In the future, he would have to think twice before acting. I need to be extra careful from now on, Lin Yi said solemnly. Now that he had discovered the problem in time, he could devise a solution. It would only be a slight loss. My shop just opened, nobody knows about it, and I haven't had any customers. I also don't have any medicinal herbs. The only way to build brand awareness and get medicinal herbs is through this high-price acquisition method. This strategy isn't wrong, the key is to find the right balance, Lin Yi pondered. He now has enough golden thread grass and pitmud grass, so he'll temporarily stop acquiring these two medicinal herbs. He can continue to acquire other medicinal herbs that he's temporarily lacking at high prices. At the very least, he needs to have most of the common medicinal herbs so that he can meet the needs of customers who come to buy medicine. This way, with buying and selling, the business can operate normally. As long as the business can operate normally, it doesn't matter if he doesn't make money. He could make a fortune selling rare spiritual herbs that had been accelerated within his immortal abode space using this immortal medicine pavilion. It was all legitimate income, which he could spend freely without arousing suspicion. In this early stage, when his strength was insufficient, he had to be extremely cautious. He couldn't afford any risks or accidents, even the slightest mishap could cost him his life. The most urgent task is to quickly raise my cultivation to the 6th level of the spirit-gathering realm. This way, my immortal abode space can advance accordingly, time will be accelerated 8-fold, the area of my spiritual fields can increase, and I can also burn my cultivation to accelerate the ripening of a large number of rare spiritual herbs to sell. With more capital, I'll have a better chance of competing with other spiritual medicine shops, Lin Yi said earnestly. These past few days had been crucial. He currently lacks sufficient resources, so he can only accelerate the ripening of a batch of rare spiritual herbs to accumulate some capital. However, his current cultivation level is very close to the 6th level of the spirit-gathering realm. If he were to burn his cultivation to accelerate the ripening of spiritual herbs, it would be more advantageous to first raise his cultivation to the 6th level of the spirit-gathering realm, improve his immortal abode space, and then burn his cultivation to accelerate the ripening. Lin Yi sat cross-legged on the futon, activated the 3rd grade 5 elements heart method, and quickly entered a state of cultivation. The next morning, Lin Yi awoke from his meditation. After a night of arduous cultivation, his cultivation had increased significantly. If he continued to cultivate diligently for another 2 or 3 days, he would basically be able to advance to the 6th level of the spirit-gathering realm. Give the spiritual fields a good rein, Lin Yi's divine sense stirred, and he entered his immortal abode space. In the immortal abode space, nearly 10 days had passed, and the 2 acres of Bilu fruit were lush and green, growing extremely well. Whoosh! Lin Yi unleashed the True Truth Realm Rain technique, and a white cloud appeared above the spirit field. Raindrops began to fall. Nourished by the abundant spiritual energy, the 2 acres of jade dew fruit looked refreshed and even more vibrant. At this rate, once I advanced to the 6th level of the spirit-gathering realm, I might not need to consume too much of my original cultivation to ripen both acres of jade dew fruit, Lin Yi smiled. This was the advantage of accelerating time 7-fold. First, let the spiritual herbs grow. Once they're large enough, then burn cultivation energy to accelerate their ripening. The combination of these two methods resulted in rapid maturation of the herbs without consuming too much cultivation energy. Later, when his cultivation level was higher, the time in his immortal abode would accelerate 8-fold, or even 10-fold, making this advantage even greater. After raining the spirit fields, Lin Yi used his oil turning technique to turn this oil over again on both acres of spirit fields. A-Qing, I'm going out now, I'll come see you again tonight, Lin Yi said to A-Qing before leaving. Moo, A-Qing shook its head in dissatisfaction. Then, it led Lin Yi to the thatched hut. It showed Lin Yi the remaining scattered star-leaf grass in the corner of the hut. I just bought you 100 caddies of star-leaf grass 2 days ago, and you ate it all so quickly. Lin Yi looked at the petite and delicate A-Qing, his face full of surprise. A-Qing could eat too much? 100 caddies of star-leaf grass cost him 200 low-grade spirit stones. A-Qing ate it all in 2 days. That means it would cost him 100 low-grade spirit stones a day. It costs 3,000 low-grade spirit stones a month. That's 36,000 low-grade spirit stones a year. Who can afford that? The main reason is that time flows 7 times faster inside the immortal abode. 2 days outside is about half a month inside the immortal abode. You've actually only spent about 13 low-grade spirit stones a day for half a month despite eating so much, Lin Yi analyzed with a smile. It's really not A-Qing's fault. It's just that A-Qing isn't suitable to be kept in the immortal abode. It's better to keep A-Qing outside. A-Qing, you can stay in this meditation room from now on. Lin Yi moved his divine sense and brought A-Qing out of the immortal abode, appearing in the meditation room. Moo. A-Qing looked around the meditation room, quite satisfied. Don't make a sound, and don't go down to the shops on the first floor. You don't have a title yet, you can't go out and see anyone, just hide in this meditation room for now. Lin Yi patted A-Qing's forehead, smiling reassuringly. People usually keep their mistresses hidden away. He's more like keeping a cow hidden away. And a beautiful, delicate little cow at that. Chapter 44, 6th level of the Spirit Gathering Realm. Moo. A-Qing nodded obediently. Then, it swished its blue tail and patted its belly, signaling Lin Yi to feed it. A-Qing, your needs are getting bigger and bigger, I can hardly feed you anymore. Lin Yi took out the last 2 caddies of star-leaf grass from the thatched hut in the immortal mansion space, placed it in front of A-Qing, and shook his head helplessly. A-Qing in the immortal mansion space was something he couldn't afford to support. He could afford to support A-Qing in the meditation room. He was completely forced into this situation. However, keeping you in this meditation room will eventually be exposed. I'd better earn some money as soon as possible, then I'll give you a proper status, and say that I bought you. Lin Yi patted A-Qing, his face full of seriousness. Then, he went downstairs to the first floor and officially opened for business. Soon after opening the door, customers began to arrive. Compared to yesterday's eagerness and indiscriminate eating, Lin Yi was noticeably more cautious today when purchasing medicinal herbs. Sure enough, many of the customers selling herbs today were selling golden thread grass and pitmud grass. Lin Yi was now completely certain that another medicinal herb shop was deliberately messing with him. They were selling him the golden thread grass and pitmud grass they had previously bought at low prices, making a small profit while forcing him to lose a lot of capital. Then, these shops were selling golden thread grass and pitmud grass at the same price as him, so there was no need for customers to buy from him. His business was about to go out of business. Around noon, Lin Yi's guess became a reality. A customer came to buy golden thread grass, saying that other spirit medicine shops had drastically reduced the price of golden thread grass, making it cheaper than his immortal medicine pavilion. Upon inquiring, Lin Yi learned that the other spirit medicine shops were leaving him no way to survive. Originally, he would buy 50 golden thread grass for 120 low-grade spirit stones and sell them for 140 low-grade spirit stones, making a small profit of 20 low-grade spirit stones. But now, other shops were selling 50 golden thread grass for only 118 low-grade spirit stones. If he wanted to sell the golden thread grass successfully, he would have to sell it for 115 low-grade spirit stones. Wasn't that going to kill him? The selling price was higher than his purchase price. Selling 50 plants would mean a loss of 5 low-grade spirit stones. If he couldn't sell them, these golden thread grasses would be stuck in his hands, constantly tying up his capital. Besides golden thread grass, the same applied to pitmud grass. These 2 herbs alone accounted for 7,000 low-grade spirit stones of his capital. Golden thread grass, our shop has plenty left, we're temporarily stopping purchases. Pitmud grass, we're temporarily not buying. Lin Yi refused to buy any of the 2 herbs from customers who came in after him. These people were deliberately trying to ruin him. Seeing that he wouldn't accept the gifts, they hurled insults at him, accusing him of being untrustworthy and short-sighted, predicting he'd soon go out of business. But Lin Yi remained unmoved. Having seen through their intentions, remaining indifferent would only be a clear case of suffering a loss. Refusing now was the best way to cut his losses. But what he didn't expect was that soon other low-grade first-rank common spiritual herbs began appearing for sale. He collected another 5,000 low-grade spirit stones from 3 different kinds of common spiritual herbs. The quantity of each herb he bought wasn't particularly large, but it was clear that other shops were switching to these 3 common herbs, continuing to target him. Sure enough, soon he learned from other customers that other spirit medicine shops had lowered the prices of these 3 spirit medicines, even below his purchase price. If he sold them, he would definitely lose money. If he didn't sell, his cost money would be tied up, leaving him with no spare cash to buy other spirit medicines. Just like before, Lin Yi decisively refused to buy the 3 ordinary spirit medicines. But this refusal didn't change anything. Soon, he bought 5 more ordinary spirit medicines in larger quantities, and other shops lowered their prices for them as well. Lin Yi had no choice but to refuse them again. After noon, there wasn't a single customer left in Lin Yi's Immortal Medicine Pavilion. Because other herbal medicine shops had already ripped him off with common medicinal herbs, so he stopped buying them. As for selling herbal medicines, other shops were selling common ones even cheaper than him, so no one would buy them. He couldn't lower his prices. If he did, he would definitely lose money. He would lose money on every kind of herbal medicine, no matter how he sold them, he would lose money. In less than 2 days, he would be completely broke, losing everything. Lin Yi waited from noon until evening, but not a single customer came. It's all over, it's completely over, Lin Yi shook his head and sighed. From the sudden boom on the first day to the deserted shop on the second day, the contrast was too great. If this were an ordinary cultivator, their hard-earned savings accumulated over many years would be wiped out by other shops in just 2 days, leaving them unable to continue. For most people, running a business would be impossible. The waters here are truly too deep. The other 5 spirit medicine shops had tacitly joined forces to target him. He was simply no match. Not only him, but anyone else would have met the same fate. This applies not only to the spirit medicine business but also to the spirit wine business. The previous owner, Guo Fen, had lost so much money that he absconded, leaving him with this mess. I originally planned to buy and sell ordinary spiritual herbs first. Then, after a few days, once my cultivation reached the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, I would cultivate a batch of rare spiritual herbs and sell them to build a reputation. Now it seems I was completely overthinking it. Lin Yi shook his head. If his Immortal Medicine Pavilion wanted to establish itself in the forgotten Immortal Town market, there was only one way, to quickly cultivate rare spiritual herbs and sell them at prices lower than other shops. It had to have its own unique characteristics and competitiveness to secure a place. Otherwise, it would be completely overwhelmed and powerless to resist. Quickly advance to the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, that's the key to turning things around, Lin Yi said solemnly. He needed to understand this point. Lin Yi closed the shop door, changed his appearance, and went to the Spirit Pale Pavilion to buy Grade 1 Spirit Essence Pills. A bottle of ordinary Grade 1 Spirit Essence Pills cost 100 low-grade Spirit Stones. Lin Yi bought 30 bottles, spending 3,000 low-grade Spirit Stones. Afterwards, he returned to the Immortal Medicine Pavilion and devoted himself to cultivation in the meditation room on the 2nd floor. With the 4 advantages of the Grade 3 5 Elements Heart Method, the Grade 3 Spirit Gathering Array, the 22 unobstructed meridians circulating in the small heavenly circuit, and the consumption of Grade 1 Spirit Essence Pills, Lin Yi's cultivation progressed rapidly. He cultivated from evening until night, and from night until the next morning. 6 hours later, Lin Yi had absorbed and refined all 30 bottles of Grade 1 Spirit Essence Pills. The effects of this night's cultivation were comparable to those of the previous 3 or 4 days. At dawn, Lin Yi opened his eyes. His cultivation had advanced from the mid-stage of the 5th level of the Spirit Gathering Realm to the 6th level in one fell swoop. Let's see what changes have been made to the Immortal Abode space. Lin Yi immediately entered the Immortal Abode space to investigate. Chapter 45 Xiao Tang's Sulking. The Immortal Abode space was completely transformed. 2 acres of spirit fields had become 3 acres. The quality of the spirit fields had also reached the pinnacle of Grade 1, middle level. With the next advancement to the 7th level of the Spirit Gathering Realm, they would definitely be upgraded to Grade 1, upper level. Lin Yi took out 2 sticks of sandalwood incense and compared the time changes. The sandalwood incense in the immortal abode space had burned 8 marks, while the sandalwood in the meditation room outside had only burned 1 mark. Time has accelerated 8-fold, Lin Yi smiled. With this acceleration, spirit herbs that take 4 months to mature could be harvested in just half a month. The changes brought about by the improvement in cultivation level are truly enormous, Lin Yi beamed. Now, he was even reluctant to burn his cultivation to accelerate the ripening of spirit herbs for profit. If he could successfully cultivate to the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm, the spiritual fields in his immortal abode might expand to 4 acres, and the grade of the spiritual fields would become top-grade first-class spiritual fields, accelerating the cultivation process 9-fold. From the 6th to the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm, the change is enormous. More spiritual fields, a higher grade, and faster time. This small advancement could increase my earning speed several times, even 10-fold. Lin Yi exclaimed expectantly. The profits from cultivating top-grade first-class spiritual herbs were far greater than those from cultivating medium-grade first-class herbs. I'd rather focus on improving my cultivation level first, Lin Yi said solemnly. Once I reach the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm, I'll find a way to make money from the immortal medicine pavilion to buy movement techniques, battle armor, spirit swords, and offensive spells to enhance my combat power. He had tasted the benefits of his immortal mansion's advancement, and was only 1 step away from the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm. Especially since the opening of the immortal medicine pavilion hadn't been smooth. For the immortal medicine pavilion to thrive, it needed a sufficient quantity of rare spiritual herbs to compete with other spiritual medicine shops. Making money at the immortal medicine pavilion is a good idea. After all, I need to buy armor, movement techniques, spirit swords, and offensive spells later, which will cost more than 36,000 low-grade spirit stones. The dowry Aunt May gave me is simply not enough. If I buy them out of thin air, people will definitely suspect me, and Aunt May and Xiao Tang will be the first to suspect me. The opening of the immortal medicine pavilion is imperative. However, the timing is a bit too early. I'm still not fully prepared, Lin Yi reflected. Perhaps this is the price of youth. Lack of experience, no one to guide him, everything has to be figured out on his own. Fortunately, after walking this path himself, he understood its drawbacks. Next, once his cultivation reaches the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm, and his immortal abode space upgrades accordingly, he will be able to completely resolve these drawbacks. I must cultivate to the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm as soon as possible, Lin Yi decisively decided. First, open up my meridians, following the techniques and the 3rd-grade cultivation method. Lin Yi continued to attack his meridians. This time, it took him 2 hours to painstakingly open 2 meridians, achieving a small circulation of 20 unobstructed meridians. After opening 12 more meridians, I can achieve a middle circulation of 36 unobstructed meridians. Lin Yi's face was full of anticipation. The middle circulation's cultivation speed is several times faster than the small circulation. The quality of spiritual energy is also much purer and more refined. With this kind of cyclical cultivation, my cultivation speed will increase significantly. I originally expected to reach the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm in about 15 days, but now it will probably only take about 10. Lin Yi smiled. This is the benefit of the cyclical cultivation. Cultivating all 5 elements simultaneously makes opening the meridians easier, and the advantage is greater than that of single-element spiritual power cultivators. If I buy some more spirit-gathering pills to supplement my cultivation, the speed will be even faster. I can advance to the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm in about 5 days, Lin Yi pondered. He acted immediately. He changed his appearance and cultivation level, becoming an 8th-level spirit-gathering realm cultivator, and went to the Spirit Pill Pavilion to continue purchasing first-grade spirit-gathering pills. This time, he bought another 50 bottles of Grade 1 spirit-gathering pills, spending 5,000 low-grade spirit stones. Now, he was completely broke. I must strive to advance to the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm within 5 days. After returning, Lin Yi closed the shop and diligently cultivated in his meditation room. Around noon, someone knocked on the shop door. Hearing the noise, Lin Yi quickly went downstairs to the shop on the 1st floor and opened the door. Standing outside was a huffing Mo Xiandang. Brother Lin Yi, I looked for you at your house for a long time but couldn't find you. I asked your neighbors and found out you opened a shop. Almost everyone in Misty Rain Alley knows about this. Why were my mother and I kept in the dark? Did you use the dowry we gave you to open this immortal medicine pavilion? Mo Ziyadang asked repeatedly. That's right, this immortal medicine pavilion was opened with the dowry as capital. I didn't tell you because I wanted to give you a surprise. After all, I'm considered a son-in-law who married into the family, and I'm easily looked down upon. People say I'm a freeloader. By opening a spirit medicine shop and having my own business, I have some confidence and face. Lin Yi smiled and said logically. You should at least discuss this with us. You just made this decision on your own, taking my mother's life savings and opening a spirit herb shop in a moment of impulsiveness. Do you know any large-scale growers? Do you have a source of spirit herbs? Have you ever worked as a shop assistant in a spirit herb shop before? Do you understand the ins and outs of the spirit herb business? You basically know nothing about these things. How could you not lose money opening this immortal herb pavilion? I heard that your immortal herb pavilion only did well on the first day, and couldn't keep going on the second day, and closed down today. I came to your shop and found it's true. Even if your business is bad, you still have to keep open and persevere. Closing down directly is a complete failure, a complete surrender, isn't it? Mo Ziyadang stared at Lin Yi, launching into a rapid-fire tirade. Lin Yi was completely stunned. He hadn't expected the seemingly obedient and docile Mo Ziyadang to be so explosive when she got angry, leaving him utterly defenseless. This young girl was clear-headed and quick-witted. Every word she uttered hit the nail on the head. If he didn't have his immortal abode space, Mo Ziyadang's scolding and reprimands would have been entirely justified. But the fact was, he had the immortal abode space as his trump card. Therefore, he could act unconventionally and take the unorthodox path. The steady path could only provide a meager living, not a path to wealth. Currently, his business was struggling, not because of a lack of ability. The main reason was that after advancing to the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, he changed his mind and wanted to make a final push to the 7th level. Otherwise, he's currently burning his cultivation, having slipped to the 5th level of the spirit gathering realm. He can now accelerate the ripening of the 2 acres of nearly mature jade dew fruit. With these fruits, the immortal medicine pavilion, while not guaranteed to be booming, can at least sustain itself and attract customers. If he advances to the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm, significantly improving his immortal abode space, and then burns his cultivation again to accelerate the ripening of top-grade spiritual herbs, the business will be on the verge of explosive growth. He's full of confidence. He's willing to wait 5 more days. Even if others laugh at him or don't understand him, he doesn't care. Ziyadang, believe me, give me a few more days, and I can turn things around. The business of this immortal medicine pavilion will definitely improve, Lin Yi reassured her with a smile. Mo Ziyadang is a young girl with ambition and aspirations. His actions, in the eyes of others, were indeed willful, reckless, and ill-considered. He could completely understand Mo Ziyadang's anger. He could completely ignore the opinions of others. But with Mo Ziyadang, he was still full of patience, trying his best to explain and gain her trust. Brother Lin Yi, I don't know what's gotten into you, but with you acting so recklessly, I'm really worried about whether it's reliable to entrust my mother and me with the rest of our lives. You're losing so much money now. The shop is closed. How can my mother and I put our faces if we hold an engagement banquet now? How about we cancel the engagement banquet today? If your business really improves in a few days, we can hold the engagement banquet again then, Mo Ziyadang said stubbornly. She was so angry that she didn't even want to go back and discuss it with her mother, and just made this decision on her own. If Lin Yi's business completely fails in a few days and he loses everything, she might have to call off the engagement. Chapter 46, Feelings Heat Up. Whatever you say, Lin Yi nodded with a smile, agreeing with Mo Ziyadang's wishes. With a situation so dire, holding the engagement banquet now would be humiliating for Mei Ziyu and Mo Ziyadang, and he himself would be ashamed. He had secretly opened a shop with Mei Ziyu's life savings, intending to surprise them, but had ended up losing everything. It was truly shameful. Ziyadang, give me 9 days. If the business at the Immortal Medicine Pavilion hasn't improved in 9 days, I won't complain even if you cancel the engagement banquet. If you do cancel the engagement, I will return all the betrothal gifts you gave me, without owing a single spirit stone, Lin Yi said decisively. He was determined to prove himself. If even Mei Ziyu and Mo Ziyadang don't believe in his abilities, what status will he have if he marries into their family? He'll be bossed around, constantly subjected to disdain, and even have to serve them water to wash their feet. His life will be worse than a dog's. He will never be that kind of live-in son-in-law. Even if he can't find a wife and lives a lonely life like Uncle Fu, He will never compromise. Most importantly, for the sake of the future, for the sake of being able to continuously and steadily sell the rare spiritual herbs that have matured in the immortal abode without arousing suspicion, he must keep this immortal medicine pavilion running. He must succeed. Alright, I'll give you 9 days, Mo Xiaodang nodded, trying hard to suppress her anger. She still had some affection for Lin Yi. He was ambitious, driven, handsome, and exceptionally talented, a rare find among his peers. It was only because of his humble origins that he had been relegated to being her live-in son-in-law. Unless absolutely necessary, unless she was at her wit's end, she was unwilling to say anything harsh to Lin Yi. She would never utter words like break off the engagement, because once those words were spoken, there would be no turning back. Influenced by her mother, she had learned how to maintain appropriate boundaries with men. Men value their pride. She could understand Lin Yi secretly opening a shop to surprise them and have his own livelihood. Opening a shop secretly wasn't too difficult to accept. If Lin Yi's business were booming now, she would be overjoyed. It would truly be a surprise. Therefore, she calmly considered the situation. Her real anger stemmed from Lin Yi's failed business venture, which could potentially wipe out his entire fortune, including her mother's life savings. Poverty breeds misery. Most of the troubles of lower-level cultivators are related to money. If your family were wealthy, she wouldn't care if Lin Yi failed in his attempt to open a shop. I know absolutely nothing about spirit herb shops, and my mother probably isn't familiar with this either, but if you need anything, just come to us. My mother knows some skilled spirit herb growers. Perhaps she can help you get a source of spirit herbs. If you need help, I can be your partner. Mo Xiaodang's expression softened considerably as she spoke gently. Hearing this, Lin Yi felt a warmth in his heart. He had initially thought Mo Xiaodang might storm off. Unexpectedly, this young woman acted calmly and didn't remain consumed by anger. This pleased him greatly. At least, he wouldn't have to worry about Mo Xiaodang chasing after him like a shrew, endlessly nagging and berating him. Misty Rain Alley was known for producing such shrewish women. Their men lived lives of subservience and humiliation. Xiao Tang, you're so kind. I appreciate your kindness. I opened this immortal medicine pavilion to have my own business and a way to make money, so I won't be ridiculed in the future for being a gigolo who lives off women. No matter how difficult it is, I won't let you help me, Lin Yi said resolutely. This was his true thought. Of course, there was a deeper reason. Mo Xiaodang and Mei Zhi were too close to him. If he let them run the shop, they would inevitably discover flaws over time. Before he became truly powerful and fully understood Mo Xiaodang and Mei Zhi's temperaments, he definitely wouldn't take that risk. This was also why he opened the shop without informing Mei Zhi and Mo Xiaodang. From the very beginning, it was clear that this mother and daughter would be eager to help and get involved. Brother Lin Yi, I understand your predicament. Don't worry, in the future, my mother and I will treat you well and won't give you a hard time. You don't need to worry so much. A son-in-law isn't always a loser. My mother and I will cherish you and hold you in our hands, making you feel superior. Mo Xiaodang looked at Lin Yi with a pang of heartache and comforted him. Lin Yi was an orphan, all alone, and felt very insecure. He desperately wanted to have a livelihood of his own. She sensed this unease, this cautiousness, this silent pursuit intensely in Lin Yi's words and expression. Lin Yi had touched the softest part of her heart. Perhaps, as her mother said, she should have been more patient and tolerant of Lin Yi. This was Lin Yi's most difficult and dejected time. How could she still lose her temper with him and berate him repeatedly? If it were her, when she was hurt and sad, if even her closest person couldn't offer her any comfort but instead scolded and berated her, she would definitely be even more heartbroken. But Lin Yi didn't show it, he concealed it perfectly. He had all his heartache and grievances in his heart. Thinking of this, she felt even more heartache and deep guilt. Brother Lin Yi, I've changed my mind. Will you come with me to the engagement banquet? Mo Xiaodang looked up at Lin Yi and said proactively. Lin Yi secretly opened the shop to make a name for himself, not to squander the betrothal gifts. She was so angry that she wanted to cancel the engagement banquet. Lin Yi would be heartbroken, and her mother would scold her severely when she got back. Compared to her, her mother clearly liked Lin Yi more, was extremely satisfied with him, and had given him a high dowry, practically giving him everything she had. I was a little impulsive just now. If I really cancel the engagement banquet, my mother will definitely scold me when I get back. Mo Xiaodang lowered her head, clutching the hem of her clothes, feeling somewhat ashamed. Xiao Tang, This is nothing, I didn't take it to heart. Besides, I also think that now is really not the right time to get engaged. How about giving me 9 more days? After 9 days, my business will improve, and I'll have my own herbal medicine shop. Then we can hold the engagement banquet. You'll have face, and I can hold my head high. Go back and tell Aunt May that I don't want to be looked down upon. Even if I become a live-in son-in-law, I want to be dignified and respectable. Lin Yi looked at Mo Xiaotang with a smile and said seriously. Hearing this, Mo Xiaotang felt a warmth in her heart. Lin Yi was obviously making excuses for her. He wasn't taking the opportunity to get back at her because she regretted it and was afraid of being scolded by her mother. According to the typical mindset of a young man, he would definitely take this as an excuse and start acting arrogantly. Lin Yi was always gentle and kind, making people feel comfortable and warm. Brother Lin Yi, you're so good. I believe that before 9 days, your immortal medicine pavilion's business will definitely improve. Mo Xiaotang's eyes were fixed on Lin Yi as she spoke with certainty. She had thought Lin Yi was too impulsive, unreliable, and lacking in consideration when he secretly opened the shop. But after actually meeting Lin Yi and talking with him, she realized that Lin Yi was very steady, measured, and had his own ideas. This steady strength made people feel powerful and at ease. Whatever he did, people felt that he would succeed sooner or later. Thank you for your kind words. Once my immortal medicine pavilion's business improves and I make money, I'll buy you a set of battle armor, a spirit sword, and some attack and movement techniques as my dowry. Lin Yi gently stroked Mo Xiaotang's head and said with a smile. He was able to open his shop openly and set up a third-grade spirit gathering array entirely thanks to the generous dowry given by Mei Ziyu and Mo Xiaotang. This was a crucial asset on his path to rise. In return, since Mo Xiaotang had given such a generous dowry, his dowry would only be even greater. PFFT, Mo Xiaotang was immediately amused by Lin Yi. Brother Lin Yi, I'm waiting for your dowry. Mo Xiaotang smiled sweetly and left happily, leaving behind a string of silver bell-like laughter. She arrived with a menacing aura, but left with a beaming smile. Watching Mo Xiaotang's graceful figure recede into the distance, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile. This future wife was quite easy to please. Of course, he still needed to successfully open the immortal medicine pavilion as soon as possible. Otherwise, next time it wouldn't just be about appeasing his wife, but also his mother-in-law. A young girl could be won over with a few kind words. But a mother-in-law was not so easily appeased. Chapter 47 Killing Two Birds with One Stone. For the next few days, Lin Yi remained in his meditation chamber, focusing intently on his cultivation. With the combined blessings of 50 bottles of first-grade spirit-gathering pills, a third-grade 5 elements heart sutra, a third-grade spirit-gathering array, 26 unblocked meridians, and top-grade spiritual roots of the 5 elements, his cultivation speed increased rapidly. In just 5 days, his cultivation level successfully advanced to the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm. Let's see the changes in the immortal abode space. Lin Yi, full of anticipation, immediately entered the immortal abode space to investigate. As soon as he entered, he sensed that the immortal abode space was significantly different from before. The spiritual energy had become much denser, and its quality had also improved. Unfortunately, his physical body could not enter the immortal abode space. Otherwise, cultivating in this immortal abode space would have been an excellent choice, a veritable treasure trove. Of course, even if his physical body can't enter, he can store spirit beasts like A-Qing inside his immortal abode. The immortal abode's capacity is increased, and the spiritual energy becomes more concentrated, allowing spirit beasts to grow rapidly. Spirit beasts can also cultivate and absorb and refine spiritual energy. If A-Qing cultivates in the immortal abode, it will quickly grow into a powerful spirit beast. Such spirit beasts with rare bloodlines, once fully grown, will have overwhelming combat power compared to cultivators of the same realm, making them a truly powerful ally. Besides the superior and more concentrated spiritual energy, the number of spirit fields in the immortal abode has also increased from 3 mu to 5 mu. The 5 acres of spirit fields had also transformed from a mid-grade first-rank spirit field to a high-grade first-rank spirit field. This improvement is enormous. Lin Yi was overjoyed. The 7th level of the spirit gathering realm and the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm seem to differ by only one minor realm. But it is a watershed moment. The benefits of 5 acres of high-grade first-rank spirit fields are simply unimaginable. Check the time change. Lin Yi quickly took out 2 sticks of sandalwood incense to observe the change in the flow of time. Soon, the results came out. The flow of time in the immortal abode space had reached 10 times that of the outside. I thought that this time the flow of time would double again, becoming 9 times that of the outside, but who knew it would double at once? The 7th level of the spirit gathering realm is indeed a watershed moment. Lin Yi smiled broadly. 5 acres of high-grade first-rank spirit fields, time accelerated tenfold. This means that the jade fruit, which takes 6 months to mature outside, will only take 18 days to mature inside this immortal abode. Should I continue to improve my cultivation level and further upgrade my immortal abode? Lin Yi was deeply tempted. Sharpening the axe doesn't delay the work. Opening an immortal medicine pavilion is imperative. But if the immortal abode reaches a high level, opening it will be much easier and more successful. It will also give him a stronger foundation to compete with other spirit medicine shops. If I continue to improve, I don't have the money to buy more grade 1 spirit gathering pills right now, so I can only rely on my own hard work. By relying on my own hard work, it used to take me about half a month to reach the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm, and it will take more than a month to break through to the 8th level. That means by the time I reach the 8th level of the spirit gathering realm, the entrance examination for the Misty Sect will be very close. At that time, I will need to buy armor, a spirit sword, movement techniques, and offensive spells in a short period of time, and I will also need to spend time digesting all of these things to improve my combat power. I'm afraid I won't have enough time, Lin Yi pondered. Besides the tight time frame, based on the previous pattern of his cultivation level increasing along with his immortal mansion space, he advanced from the 3rd to the 4th level of the spirit gathering realm, and his immortal abode space underwent a significant improvement. This was the first watershed. The spirit fields within his immortal abode space upgraded from low-grade first-rank spirit fields to high-grade first-rank spirit fields. From the 4th to the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, the quality of his spirit fields remained at the mid-grade first-rank level, and the number of spirit fields increased only slightly each time. Based on this calculation, the 7th level of the spirit gathering realm would be the second watershed. Currently, all 5 mu of spirit fields are high-grade first rank. Even if he cultivated diligently for over a month to reach the 8th level of the spirit gathering realm, the number of spirit fields would likely only increase to about 6 mu, and the quality would still remain high-grade first rank. The change would be minimal. If that's the case, there's no need to spend over a month slowly cultivating. Let's open the shop first. That way we can quickly earn some money and buy armor, spirit swords, movement techniques, and offensive spells to improve our combat power. Once we have enough money, we can buy a large quantity of grade 1 spirit gathering pills and combine them with cultivation. It might only take 10 days to half a month to directly advance to the 8th level of the spirit gathering realm. Lin Yi smiled and made a decisive decision. Immediately, taking advantage of his improved cultivation level, his stronger spiritual energy foundation, and the more refined quality of his spiritual energy, he activated the 5-element spiritual energy to continue opening his meridians. This time, it took about 2 hours, and he painstakingly opened 2 more meridians. He had achieved a small circulation of 26 unobstructed meridians. He was only 10 meridians away from the middle circulation. This cultivation speed is significantly faster than before. Lin Yi activated the 3rd grade 5 elements heart method, completing 1 circulation, and found that the spiritual energy he produced this time was noticeably greater. Clearly, at his level of circulation, opening even 1 more meridian would significantly increase his cultivation speed. 26 meridians, all this feels so good. If I open 36 meridians and achieve the middle circulation, won't my cultivation speed skyrocket? Lin Yi's face was full of anticipation. At this rate, even with arduous self-cultivation, he felt he could advance to the 8th level of the spirit gathering realm in about a month. However, time is of the essence, so there's no need for that right now. Opening the shop is the priority. My cultivation has been skyrocketing. If people knew, it would definitely arouse suspicion. Perfect. By burning my cultivation to accelerate the ripening of spiritual herbs, I can avoid suspicion and quickly obtain a batch of rare spiritual herbs, which can help the immortal medicine pavilion gain an advantage. Lin Yi secretly made his decision. After his immortal mansion space is upgraded, his cultivation will decline, but the immortal mansion space will not decline accordingly. This is a huge advantage. At his current cultivation speed, Even if his cultivation drops to the 5th level of the spirit-gathering realm, with the help of a first-grade spirit-gathering pill, he can cultivate back to the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm in about 5 days. He won't have to worry about participating in the Misty Sect's entrance examination at all. Now, his priority is to open the Immortal Medicine Pavilion as quickly as possible, earn money, and purchase battle armor, spirit swords, movement techniques, and offensive spells to enhance his combat power. He wants to ensure he ranks among the top in the sect entrance assessment and secure his entry into the Misty Sect. He doesn't want to stay in Forgotten Immortal Town forever. The 5 elements cultivation techniques sold in the town's market are at most grade 3. Other spells, battle armor, spirit swords, and the like are also destined to be of low quality. The small town is very comfortable, but its potential is limited, unsuitable for someone with ambition like him. Going to the Misty Sect offers a broader scope for development and a better future. Now that I have 5 acres of top-grade spirit fields, I can plant many kinds of rare spiritual herbs at the same time. With a 10-fold time acceleration in my burning cultivation to accelerate ripening, I can quickly obtain a batch of rare spiritual herbs. I refuse to believe that I can't compete with them this time. Lin Yi was full of fighting spirit. Immediately, he burned his cultivation to accelerate the ripening of both acres of jade dew fruit. This time, he harvested a total of 600 jade dew fruit seedlings and 600 jade dew fruits. A jade dew fruit seedling can be sold for 15 low-grade spirit stones at the Spirit Medicine Pavilion. A jade dew fruit can be sold for 25 low-grade spirit stones at the Spirit Medicine Pavilion. This time, he can make a net profit of 24,000 low-grade spirit stones. However, the money earned this way was all from dubious sources, making it difficult to spend and raising suspicion. There were too many hidden risks. Selling it in his own Immortal Medicine Pavilion was much safer. He could launder all his income cleanly and avoid suspicion. Furthermore, the Spirit Medicine Pavilion bought his jade dew fruit seedlings and fruits for 40 low-grade spirit stones each. However, the Spirit Medicine Pavilion sold them to the public for 70 low-grade spirit stones each. Selling them at the Spirit Medicine Pavilion was a huge loss for him. Selling them in his own Immortal Medicine Pavilion, even at 60 low-grade spirit stones, would earn him more than selling them there. This was also why he was determined to open an Immortal Medicine Pavilion. Selling these rare and precious herbs in his own herb pavilion would earn him more money, and he wouldn't be suspected of anything. It was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Chapter 48, Steady and Steady. However, these preparations are still insufficient. With so many bilu fruits, people might suspect their origin. Lin Yi shook his head. To be on the safe side, it's best to ripen as many varieties as possible. He'll ripen dozens of each rare medicinal herb, a small trial run. With a small quantity, people will assume he bought them piecemeal from other small-scale growers, and won't suspect he's using rare herbs as a front, leaving no hidden dangers. Immediately, Lin Yi used his Thousand Faces technique to change his appearance into that of a young cultivator, and then changed his cultivation level to the 9th level of the spirit-gathering realm. However, these 2 disguises can only fool cultivators below the Golden Core realm. To conceal his presence even from Golden Core cultivators, he needed to alter his spiritual aura. Changing one's spiritual aura was far more difficult. Lin Yi had previously practiced and could change it, but the change was minor, remaining relatively close to his original aura, and only lasting for about 15 minutes. Now, with his cultivation at the 7th level of the spirit-gathering realm, his spiritual aura was much stronger. Changing his aura now was significantly more dramatic, creating a noticeable contrast, and lasting for about half an hour. Basically, enough. Lin Yi smiled slightly. Immediately, he changed his spiritual aura, becoming somewhat fierce. Completely different from his previous gentle aura. Disguised like this, even those very familiar with him would hardly recognize him. With this Immortal Medicine Pavilion, I can launder my income. From now on, in my immortal abode, I can plant spirit trees, raise spirit insects, bees, and beasts, and even dig fish ponds and raise spirit fish. I can disguise myself and sell them elsewhere. The money earned this way can be attributed to the Immortal Medicine Pavilion, and no one will suspect anything. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile. This was the purpose of the Immortal Medicine Pavilion. It wasn't necessarily about making a lot of money from it, its main function was to launder the income from his immortal abode. After all, people didn't know the details of his shop's operation, nor how much money he actually made. Of course, he would still strive to make the Immortal Medicine Pavilion's business thrive. If business is slow, and someone claims to have made a lot of money by spending it all from the immortal abode space, no one will believe them. Only when business is booming, or even thriving, can laundering the income from the immortal abode space be done flawlessly. To avoid being discovered, Lin Yi secretly left through the back door of the Immortal Medicine Pavilion, circled several streets, and arrived at the Spirit Medicine Pavilion. He was currently completely broke and couldn't even afford to buy spirit seeds. He needed to sell some jade fruits to raise money to buy spirit herb seeds. This time, he planned to buy many kinds of rare spirit herb seeds, which would undoubtedly be a considerable expense. "Young master, do you want to buy spirit herbs?" Gu Ming proactively stepped forward and asked enthusiastically. He didn't recognize Lin Yi's identity at all. Seeing Gu Ming's expression, Lin Yi couldn't help but smile. He had spent a lot of money to buy the 1,000 faces and 10,000 faces, and used the time acceleration advantage in the Immortal Mansion to comprehend and cultivate. All this effort and hard work was well worth it. "I want to sell some jade fruits. What price can you offer?" As Lin Yi spoke, he took out a jade fruit seedling and a jade fruit, and handed them to Gu Ming. "The price of jade fruits has risen recently, and the market is good. I'll give you 45 low-grade spirit stones for this jade fruit seedling and this jade fruit together. What do you think?" Gu Ming said with a smile. "No problem," Lin Yi nodded readily. Immediately, he took out 100 jade fruit seedlings and 100 jade fruits, put them in a blue cloth bag, and handed them to Gu Ming. He actually had 600 jade fruit plants. But he didn't plan to sell them all. He just needed some capital to buy spirit seeds. Since the jade fruit market was quite good recently, he might as well keep these plants and sell them at his Immortal Medicine Pavilion. The price would definitely be higher than 45 low-grade spirit stones. If he weren't currently short of money, not even having enough to buy spirit seeds, he wouldn't even be willing to sell these 100 jade fruit plants. "Here, that's 4,500 low-grade spirit stones." Gu Ming smiled broadly, took out 45 thumb-sized mid-grade spirit stones, put them in a blue cloth bag, and handed them to Lin Yi. Goodbye." Lin Yi took the spirit stones, checked them, and after confirming that everything was correct, turned around and left. He walked out of the Spirit Medicine Pavilion. He quickened his pace, heading towards the Spirit Seed Pavilion to purchase spirit seeds. He could only maintain this altered spiritual aura for about half an hour. He needed to act quickly. "Young master, need some seeds." Hao Yun greeted him with a broad smile as soon as he entered the pavilion. "Show me the spirit herb recipe." Lin Yi glanced at Hao Yun and said calmly. Hao Yun, too, didn't recognize him. This reassured him even more. As long as he was cautious, careful, and proceeded steadily, he wouldn't make any mistakes or invite any trouble. In this early stage, he needed a stable opportunity for development, avoiding any setbacks or turmoil as much as possible. Once suspected and attacked, he could easily die. "Take your time looking, just let me know when you've chosen." Hao Yun casually handed Lin Yi a book of spiritual herb illustrations and turned to attend to other customers. Lin Yi stood by the counter, constantly flipping through the illustrations. He then noted down the rare spiritual herb seeds he needed. He also knew their prices. Soon, he selected 15 low-grade first-rank rare spiritual herbs, 30 medium-grade first-rank rare spiritual herbs, and 60 high-grade first-rank spiritual herbs. At the high-grade first-rank level, rarity no longer mattered. Even the most common high-grade first-rank spiritual herbs were very expensive. Moreover, most of the spiritual plant growers in Wangxian Town lack the ability to cultivate even the most common Grade 1 superior spiritual herbs, let alone the extremely rare and difficult to cultivate Grade 1 superior spiritual herbs. Therefore, Lin Yi directly selected most of the commonly used Grade 1 superior spiritual herbs, regardless of their rarity. In terms of profit, these Grade 1 superior spiritual herbs are the most lucrative and fastest way to generate income. Currently, the 5 acres of spiritual fields in his immortal abode space are all Grade 1 superior spiritual fields, making it more cost-effective to cultivate Grade 1 superior spiritual herbs there, thus fully utilizing the immortal abode space. Buy some more spiritual tree seeds. After selecting the spiritual herb seeds, Lin Yi flipped to the spiritual herb catalog to the section on spiritual tree seeds and began to carefully choose. The immortal abode space can now withstand far greater pressure than before, making it perfectly capable of cultivating some spirit trees. These spirit trees can bear valuable spirit fruits, which can be consumed to enhance one's strength. They can also be sold, thus creating another source of income. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49, Rare Spirit Tree. Lin Yi flipped through the spiritual herb catalog, carefully selecting suitable spiritual tree seeds. Common spiritual fruit trees, such as spiritual peach trees, spiritual apricot trees, and spiritual jujube trees, while yielding good profits and easy to manage, were also widely planted by cultivators, resulting in a less promising future. Lin Yi directly abandoned these common spiritual fruit trees. Among the many rare spiritual trees, he deliberated and chose the four most suitable for him. The first was the Wusang tree. The Wusang tree produces Wusang fruit, which sells for a considerable price, and its leaves can be used to feed spiritual silkworms. Spirit silk, made from the silk of spirit silkworms, is an excellent fabric for clothing. It can be infused with spiritual energy, making it not only aesthetically pleasing but also providing self-defense, though its effectiveness is slightly less than that of armor. Wusang fruit can be combined with spirit silkworms to generate substantial profits. Besides Wusang fruit, Lin Yi chose 3 other types of spirit trees, all for his own benefit. One was the Heavenly Intelligence Tree. If the Heavenly Intelligence Tree is 1,000 years old, its Heavenly Intelligence fruit can slightly enhance a cultivator's comprehension. Comprehension is the most crucial talent. Many exquisite techniques, top-tier cultivation methods, as well as the ways of array formations, weapon crafting, and alchemy, all require a high level of comprehension. Without sufficient comprehension, one cannot even begin to learn. In terms of comprehension, it's purely a matter of innate talent. Unlike cultivation levels, which can be gradually accumulated through hard work and diligent practice, insufficient comprehension is simply insufficient and cannot be compensated for by effort alone. Cultivating the Heavenly Wisdom Tree, whose heavenly wisdom fruits ripen after 1,000 years, can enhance comprehension. This is exactly what he needs and will be of great help to him. When the heavenly wisdom fruits are sold, they will fetch an extremely high price. However, the cultivation requirements for the heavenly wisdom fruits are high. It requires the True Truth Realm rain drifting technique, which requires raining once a month, and it must grow in at least a first-grade superior spiritual field. Neither the True Truth Realm rain drifting technique nor a first-grade superior spiritual field are things that ordinary spiritual plant growers cannot possess. Furthermore, it requires 1,000 years of tree age to enhance comprehension. These 3 conditions are all difficult to meet. After all, even if this spirit plant cultivator is very powerful, possessing the True Truth Realm rain drifting technique and a first-grade superior spirit field, can his descendants continue after his death? Can they continue for 1,000 years? There is currently no 1,000-year-old heavenly intelligence tree in Wangxian Town. It is said that there is a 1,000-year-old heavenly intelligence tree in the Misty Sect, but the number of heavenly intelligence fruits it produces is limited, and only the sect leader, elders, and true disciples have the opportunity to obtain heavenly intelligence fruits. Those below them are not qualified at all. As for heavenly intelligence fruits from trees less than 1,000 years old, eating them can actually temporarily improve one's comprehension. The effects and duration of the enhancement on comprehension increase from 10-year-old heavenly intelligence fruits to 100-year-old heavenly intelligence fruits are gradual improvements. A 1,000-year-old heavenly intelligence fruit permanently enhances comprehension. This is the true transformation. This heavenly intelligence tree is perfect for me, Lin Yi thought to himself with secret joy. His immortal abode space currently has 5 acres of top-grade first-class spiritual fields, and his rain drifting technique is at the True Truth realm, fully meeting the conditions for cultivating heavenly intelligence fruits. Ordinary aged heavenly intelligence fruits, which can temporarily enhance comprehension, are quite valuable and useful to him. He also has a chance to cultivate a 1,000-year-old heavenly intelligence fruit. Based on the current 10-fold time flow rate in his immortal abode space, he could probably cultivate a 1,000-year-old heavenly intelligence tree in about 100 years. However, in reality, as his cultivation level increases, the immortal abode space will also improve, and the time acceleration will increase accordingly. When he reaches the 8th, 9th, or 10th level of the spirit gathering realm, the time flow within his immortal abode space will be more than 10 times that of the outside world. If he can advance further and reach the transcendent realm, increasing his cultivation by a major realm. The time flow within his immortal abode space might also accelerate dramatically. At that time, if the time flow within his immortal abode space is 30 times that of the outside world, he could cultivate a 1,000-year-old heavenly intelligence tree in just 33 years. Of course, all of this is based on the premise that he patiently waits. If he is willing to burn his cultivation to accelerate the growth of the heavenly intelligence tree, he might be able to cultivate a 1,000-year-old heavenly intelligence tree in just 2 or 3 years, or even less. From a long-term perspective, the heavenly clever tree is crucial. Whether for making money or for self-improvement, it's a must-plant spiritual tree. And the sooner the better. Besides the heavenly clever tree, Lin Yi also chose 2 other spiritual trees that were currently very useful to him. One was the azure spirit tree. The azure spirit fruit produced by the azure spirit tree contained abundant spiritual energy. A 10-year-old azure spirit fruit had about half the effect of a grade 1 spirit nourishing pill. A 30-year-old azure spirit fruit was comparable to a grade 1 spirit nourishing pill. This meant that as long as the azure spirit tree bore azure spirit fruit, he could use it to improve his cultivation level, and any excess azure spirit fruit could be sold for money. 30 years of age wasn't a high requirement for him. Placed in the immortal abode space, it will naturally mature in just 3 years. If one is impatient, one can burn one's cultivation to accelerate its ripening. The last type of spiritual tree is called the spirit luo tree. The spirit luo fruit that the spirit luo tree bears has excellent body tempering effects, which can be used to temper the physical body, making it incredibly strong and having a certain lifespan extending effect. Although, at the same cultivation level, lifespan is generally within a certain range. Cultivators at the spirit gathering realm generally have a lifespan between 80 and 120 years. Within this range, there is a full 40-year fluctuation. Cultivators who do not pay attention to tempering their physical bodies will begin to suffer from various illnesses in old age, and will only live to around 80 years old. If one consumes the spirit luo fruit to temper their physical body into very strong form, they will remain free from illness and pain in old age, comfortably living to around 120 years old. This applies not only to cultivators in the spirit gathering realm, but also to those in the transcendent realm. The lifespan of transcendent realm cultivators is generally between 180 and 250 years, with a fluctuation range of 70 years. Using a 300-year-old spirit luo fruit to temper the body, a transcendent realm cultivator has a high chance of living to 250 years old. The spirit luo fruit can temper the physical body, making it stronger, giving one a greater advantage in combat, and also prolonging life. It's definitely worth cultivating. The Wusang tree, used to raise spirit silkworms, the Xianquang tree, used to enhance comprehension, the Qingling tree, used to improve cultivation level, the Lingluo tree, used to temper the physical body and prolong life. Lin Yi selected these 4 spirit trees, a radiant smile spreading across his face. Given time, he was certain he could make a fortune with these 4 spirit trees. Becoming a wealthy person like Shi Fian was no longer a pipe dream. Chapter 50, Rapidly Accelerating Grain Growth. According to the prices on the herb catalog, these rare spirit tree seeds are expensive. Many rare spirit herbs are also quite pricey. Lin Yi only bought 10 seeds of each rare spirit herb. Even so, he bought 1,000 spirit herb seeds for over 100 kinds of rare spirit herbs, plus 4 rare spirit tree seeds. That's a total of 4,300 low-grade spirit stones. Hao Yun calculated the price against Lin Yi's purchase list and said with a smile, "Here you go." Lin Yi took out 43 thumb-sized mid-grade spirit stones and handed them to Hao Yun. He had sold the jade dew fruit for a total of 4,500 low-grade spirit stones, and now he only had 200 left. The key is, the spiritual herb seeds he bought this time were of a wide variety, but only about 10 of each rare herb could be planted. He would have to save the seeds himself later. Take care. Amid Hao Yun's farewell, Lin Yi left the spirit seed pavilion. After leaving the pavilion, Lin Yi kept looking back to see if anyone was following him. Finding no one was following him, he breathed a sigh of relief and quickened his pace, heading towards the street away from the immortal herb pavilion. Reaching a secluded corner where no one could see him, Lin Yi set up a 5-colored spiritual energy shield, enveloping himself inside. Then, he used his Thousand Faces ability, transforming into another young man, and took out a brand new set of clothes from his storage ring, putting them on. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief, dispelling his spiritual energy shield and returning to the Immortal Medicine Pavilion, entering through the back door. Moo. As soon as he returned to the second floor, A-Qing wagged its tail, warmly welcoming him. A-Qing, we're about to become rich. Lin Yi patted A-Qing's neck, beaming. Immediately, with a thought, he stored A-Qing in his immortal abode space, and then followed suit. Plant these 4 spirit trees first, Lin Yi decisively decided. As soon as he finished speaking, he used his oil-turning technique, planting these 4 rare spirit trees in the 4 corners of the 5-acre first-grade superior spirit field. After all, as the spirit trees grew, they would provide shade, affecting the growth of the spirit herbs in the spirit field. Planting these 4 rare spirit trees scattered around the 4 corners of the 5 mu of spirit fields would minimize the impact of their shade. After planting the spirit trees, Lin Yi used the True Truth Realm's oil-turning technique to quickly till the 5 mu of spirit fields again. Then, he planted the thousands of spirit herb seeds in the 5 mu of spirit fields. I still need to burn my cultivation to accelerate the ripening of some of the spirit herbs, Lin Yi pondered. Currently, everyone still thought his cultivation level was at the 5th level of the spirit gathering realm. Therefore, he could continue to burn his cultivation to slide from the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm down to the 5th level. This should be able to accelerate the ripening of several hundred spirit herbs. I'll accelerate the ripening of the first-grade low-level rare spirit herbs first, Lin Yi said decisively. These artificially ripened spiritual herbs were sold in the Immortal Medicine Pavilion. Business at the Immortal Medicine Pavilion was slow these days, and few people came to sell their spiritual herbs. If he directly offered first-grade mid-level rare spiritual herbs or first-grade high-level rare spiritual herbs, it would definitely arouse suspicion about the origin of his herbs. First-grade low-level rare spiritual herbs, however, were still cultivated by some plant growers who were attracted by the high prices and would come to sell. He would buy some first-grade low-level rare spiritual herbs himself and sell them. He would then artificially ripen some more first-grade low-level rare spiritual herbs and mix them together. This way, it would be seamless, and no one would suspect anything. There were 15 kinds of first-grade low-level rare spiritual herbs, 10 plants of each kind, totaling 150 plants. Lin Yi burned his cultivation to directly ripen them. His cultivation level had slipped from the peak of the 6th level of the spirit gathering realm to the late 6th level, and he had ripened these 150 first-grade low-level rare spiritual herbs in that time. Let's take stock of the harvest, Lin Yi smiled as he picked the 150 spiritual herbs. After this harvest, he had about 50 seeds of each type of low-grade first-rank rare spiritual herb. 6th level of the spirit gathering realm, your spiritual energy foundation has truly deepened considerably. I'm afraid even if I were to fully mature all 30 types of mid-grade first-rank rare spiritual herbs, my cultivation might not even drop to the 5th level of the spirit gathering realm, Lin Yi said with a slight smile. With a higher cultivation level, burning cultivation energy and maturing spiritual herbs became much easier. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.